players have shown up, and we can take a look at what they will go for. Now, one hero that I really think that will be one of the deciding heroes for most of the series today is Disruptor, because we've seen Disruptor over the last 3 days do so much work. Every time he gets ahead in the laning stage, which a lot of teams, I mean, they're attempting to get ahead of the laning stage, he's just the one to make sure that it just gets sealed in.
I would say it's a situational pick.
Okay.
It's that Disruptor is a good hero against a Wisp often. Now Wisp is banned, so it's like an answer, also to Ember. But it's more like if a team likes to play the hero, then sure, it might be a trend. But it's not like the go-to hero at all times. And between these two heroes, there's little, I would say, little Disruptor play.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not entirely sure, but it's for sure it's for sure a good hero. But it's not like, oh my god, it's gonna be the Disruptor pick.
No, but I think it's gonna, like, for me, it feels like he's had such a big impact. I just feel like
it's
he's
good when the team is on par with the hero, but like, I would say it's not like the must pick meta support hero.
Shadow Fiend, however, does make it through with the IO as well as the Darkseer band. I mean, one had to go through. It's the Shadow Fiend.
And that's a Shadow Fiend on Dire. It could be kind of a steal as a pick.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Miracle, probably next to no one plays the hero best. I would say you can make that statement.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe mention RTC next to those, but it's an interesting pickup for sure.
Dire team pick.
That also means that there's going to be... Monkey Business can't really run an aggressive trailer or anything like that, or maybe dual lane, but they have to have a support that helps with stacking camps at this point. They have to have a support that rotates into the jungle because it's a Shadow Fiend on Dire's side. It kind of has to...
Dazzle,
they could pick the Dazzle right now.
Yeah, I think it's
just
really good against the Brood.
It's not just for the stacking purposes, but also make sure that the laning stage of Shadow Fiend is not disrupted. On Dire's side especially, you're very, very fragile. Like any gank, especially when you see a Tusk is going to rotate on the mid lane a lot. You will be trying to gank that hero.
That's a very early starter pick.
It is.
I would say it's pretty okay against the Brute though. It's just a fear factor if you get it.
If you get amplified, yeah, it's very difficult to escape.
I really liked the Tiny yesterday that we saw against the Brood, against the Brood, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Just get vision on him, be that Thunderstrike, be that amplified damage from the Slaughter, and then just toss someone in.
I would also say though that a big factor to that was that Demon showed up too much. It just snowballed with the fact that Demon had 2 early kills in those games, and then Tiny killed him 3-4 times, and it just snowballed with that. You die once on Brute is actually very crucial in comparison to another carry. You can't really make these kind of mistakes.
Do you think, Lumi, this is the offlane Slaughter?
I guess that's the beauty of the pick, right? You could kind of hide it a little bit.
It can be anything, to be honest.
The support Slaughter is not even out of the question as well. So
I know that Johanna likes the idea of support Slaughter as well. I mean, he used to play the hero on a support role.
Okay.
Reserve time.
It's for sure. It's for sure not taken away that it could be even a support position here.
If you see a support Slaughter, which hero do you like to see with it as a duo support?
Some setup stun, like Bane is pretty good. Maybe even you could do Shadow Demon. It's pretty decent against Tusk.
I think Shadow Demon is one option, but
the problem is they're all single target,
and you don't push waves well.
Like, you kind of need against the Brood.
I think Wyvern is the perfect fit because Slaughter, when he sprints in, he gets himself into a lot of harm's way. And that's where Cole's Embrace gets really good. Winter's Curse, after he draws so much attention. And you talked about the Slaughter lack of D-push. Well, Splinter Blast is good for that too. So I think Winter plus Slaughter is kind of a nice dual support, but we don't even know if Slaughter is a support.
But that would be the most, to me, it's still the most unlikely case. I would assume that a Slaughter rather goes into a carry core position or in an offlane position, or it being a support.
Lich ban.
Vega was expecting the Lich. I mean, Lich has been very strong and very highly prioritized over the last few series that we've seen.
It just opens up your offlane so much.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're 12 heroes in and we don't see Ember pick or ban yet.
I think it's picked now, right? With Vega? They love the hero.
Everybody loves that hero.
Yeah, I think Vega
Played more
Better.
than Monkey Business?
well. I think better than Monkey Business.
Vega has
10 seconds.
a big win rate on the
remaining.
hero.
I think it's like 90% or something. isn't
Like
it?
10 wins, 2
5
losses or something
seconds
like that.
remaining.
Like
It's crazy.
pretty high win rate.
I'd say on the side of Monkey Business
Reserve
right now, they
time.
just need control, supportive control, just because these two heroes open up for Roche very easy on Dire's side.
Yeah.
You hardly need anything, so some kind of
Gank.
gank or like even healing supports. I mean, Desolate is taken out by themselves, so
You still have Witch Doctor. That's a lot of minus armor for a death ward.
Dire
solid
team
support
pick.
pick up here by Vega.
Bane. That
Yep.
kind of takes like.
But they still leave the 2 cores open. They
Yeah.
still leave their mid position as well as carry position open.
And I guess Bane, I mean, if you do go for an Ember Spirit, Bane is actually pretty good against an Ember Spirit as well.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm thinking they're less likely going to pick it now.
Yeah.
Because of the Bane pickup. Like usually they'd combo it up with a Lina who's still available. And they haven't picked that.
10
So.
seconds
like-
remaining.
Yeah, for Vega. But then if they do that, then we might not see a Tusk. Or we might see a Tusk as a core instead of a support.
Yeah. Well,
But I don't think that's going to be
solo
happening.
safe lane?
Yeah,
Well,
it's like there's no. I don't think there's space for Lina anymore unless it's no one playing the Lina.
No, there isn't.
I would almost think that Slaughter is gonna go towards an offlane position, not towards a carry position.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because
could be.
that duo
10
as a lane
seconds remaining.
has a hard time dealing with Brute. Like you don't really do that much in the early
5
stage.
seconds remaining.
The Liquid Fire is too long cooldown. Dual Breath is too expensive mana-wise
Reserve
to be able
time.
to
Yeah, it's
use it on
spam
the spiders all the time. Which hero would you like to see against Brood if it's a safe lane solo for someone? Because obviously yesterday we discussed this and we said like the old school ones, you've got of course your Tide, you got your Legion Commander, which is also kind of counterable, and we've seen Vega counter it. And actually we've seen Vega go Brood mid as well. Did we
Yeah.
not? So
That
there's
depends on that will depend on the matchup.
on the
though.
matchup, but it's going to be a
very
Shadow Fiend,
unlikely,
and that's
yeah.
unlikely, yeah.
I think it's more important to pick up a hero that could deal with Brood during the mid game rather than the laning stage.
Okay.
Because in lane, you could easily shut down Brood with Dusk. I mean, Jakero's a great setup hero. After Dusk, you just dual breath, liquid fire, and suddenly he's taking so much DOT damage.
Wind Ranger at your
It's more that
service.
once the support rotates off the lane and the carry's
Dire
on his
team
own,
pick.
can he deal with the spiders? Can he deal with the tower being harassed? So with that in mind, I think Gyro generally is on a safe lane position, does okay against Brood. We talked about things like LC, Axe.
Yeah.
That's the traditional Brood counters.
Necroslaus? If
Yeah.
Not sure if Necro could spam heal as fast.
Oh, Brew.
Brewmaster, interesting. So is
Brew
this
can actually do fine though.
is this the safe lane Brood that we get a quick blink and try to control the tempo of the game, or is this something
It's
else?
either quick or could be the quick blink. You could also go the mana boots route.
Okay.
Just okay.
Any possibility of seeing a safe lane
10
Shadow Fiend
seconds
and then a
remaining.
mid Brood?
I don't think it pays off.
Safe lane.
5
The problem with that
seconds
is
remaining.
that despite you being, even if you die 3 times in a mid position Shadow Fiend, which is
Reserve time.
I would say rather unlikely,
Mm-hmm.
you still get a quick 5 out of a mid position where you have a
Dire
bottle then,
team back.
and then utilizing a forest is just a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just gain, despite being behind, a lot more out of a mid position Shadow Fiend than a side lane, where you can hardly move away, and you share experience.
True.
10
So
seconds
what we're gonna see
remaining.
is the Wind Ranger versus the Shadow Fiend matchup, and we saw Excalibur tore through
5
Yuku's
seconds remaining.
or Yuki's
did.
Shadow Fiend
Yeah,
the
we
other
did.
day.
we did. Is that a matchup that should be
Reserve
typically won by a
time.
Wind Ranger?
No,
Early levels, Wind Ranger has a pretty.
you have an
Yeah.
advantage, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't. I don't think you
You
need
could
to.
have Bane rotate mid as well in the start. That might help.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bane will rotate mid. Actually.
He will. Usually, when Shadow Fiend is played
Mhm.
on the Dire side, he's gonna have a hard time. So that's where I was expecting a support that can help out the Shadow Fiend. Just make sure
Yeah.
that his lane is not horrendously bad in the start. Bane for sure will help out in mid. He will annoy him, probably with the Brain Sap. Like since the change of Brain Sap, it's just so cost efficient to annoy the mid laner.
Yep.
Right,
We
cores.
usually see Bane like go mid just to get 1 point in Feeble, but yeah, now the Brain Sap is so efficient that you just go in, trade a kit.
It's like what is 100? No, 90 mana, 110 mana.
I could do a dual lane, like Jakiro
sure.
starter off lane.
Haven't played Bane for
Sorry.
I
a while.
I just
10
know it's.
seconds
I think it's
remaining.
110. I think it's 110.
What do we think for
5 seconds
Monkey Business having a
remaining.
chance to go for dual lanes? Because
Yeah,
I
I
still
think-
agree that
yeah.
there should be a support that could easily
Reserve
either rotate
time.
mid or stack camps in a jungle. And
I mean,
should therefore
Jakiro could be that
around.
hero. Liquid Fire on
Yeah.
the mid lane's not too bad.
True, but he's really slow.
He is.
Let's not also forget the possibility of a support Brewmaster. We saw Kurogi did that the other day for Team Liquid. It is very greedy support,
I'm
but
personally
very
not.
Yeah.
I think Brewmaster needs a quick blink, like somewhat a quick blink, at least a quick 6.
What do you think of PL for Vega Squadron here? Like, you have the Broodmother making the space.
10
Tusk and Bane are
seconds
pretty solid
remaining.
laners. Like, you're gonna,
PL?
yeah, Fundamental.
5 seconds
Ursa.
remaining.
PL has like the worst
Dire
win rate.
team pick.
I thought it was kind of good against the Amplify. You can remove it. You can.
I actually think that Ursa against Brew seems very
it seems
weak.
really terrible, right?
Yeah.
You
You're
get
gonna
you get
miss.
miss from
you're,
the
you're gonna get
drunken haze.
spawn
Yeah.
when you ulti.
6-second airtime is not exactly where you want to be. I'm not sure I'm sold on this pick.
Well, they have the sleep into walk up clap.
But it could also be that they picked Ursa. Like what we've seen
10
from Vega
seconds
in the
remaining.
game, they barely won with Ursa. They got Roche every single
5
time. So
seconds
what's going to happen
remaining.
is that they will pressure.
They're
the
fighting for
Roche.
Roshan earlier.
Yeah.
Then
They
they're
will just
ready.
go
yeah.
for the Roche early on.
Reserve time.
Obviously, on the side of Monkey Business, you have the 5-on-5 that you can contest with very early is
Vega could
it's
even
very strong.
like do Roshan level 1.
It's just that you're on Radiant side. It's
Yeah.
still very tough. So you could see maybe some spam hero on Monkey Business side, just to make sure that it's not gonna, it's not that easy
Yeah,
to
yeah.
just take Roche, that you can contest it.
What do
I
we
like
think for last
Wyvern
one?
here, man.
Wyvern's
Yeah.
really-
It's a Shadow Demon.
Shadow Demon,
We
not bad.
mentioned him before as well. Good setup for the Crush, good setup for the Ice Bath. I
And-
like it.
And it's a protective
Amazing.
hero, and it's a protective hero for the mid lane.
Yeah, it's very, very good against Ursa as well. You can just ulti him.
So you all said 2-0 Monkey Business.
Yep.
I think you want to stick with that,
I like the lineup a lot.
right?
that
At
they
least
have.
for this game, now that you see the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Depends on, I would say, to me, what it comes down to is how much impact Broodmother will have
Yeah.
in start.
Yeah.
Because the other heroes are very single target oriented. So Brute needs to pressure very early. They can get space for the Roshan, and then you snowball from there. You get early towers, and then the next Roche will be a lot easier. Once the bottom tower is gone,
Yeah.
you can go for Roche, and that's how Vega won the other day with Ursa, and that's probably the plan on how you play around Ursa generally.
So a lot is depending on the laning stage here.
Laning stage, as for sure, as well as your, I guess, the early Roche attempt, the first attempt on
The
the,
first
Roche, if you
Roche
get it,
attempt.
and then what you can, how you capitalize from there. Do you get the, are you gonna get the first tower, the first towers, and can you push from there? But I think Monkey Business has a pretty strong 5-on-5
Okay.
and solid late game.
Well, we're going to find out how the first Roshan is going to go and how the laning stage is going to go with our commentators, Owen and Andy. For our first game, it is going to be a Monkey Business taking on Vega Squadron.
Indeed, thank you very much, Shiva. Myself, Odie Pixel, and Draskell are here ready to take you through the first series of the day. Monkey Business, of course, going up against Vega Squadron. We do have a quick pause at the moment, so do bear with us. But Andy, so we've seen the lineups, we've seen the drafts. We're once again seeing Vega pull up that Ursa card, and they have done that. I think it was against Monkey Freedom Fighters, wasn't it, when they picked it up before and they won the game?
They did win that game, yes.
Yes,
I don't
when they
remember if it
drafted
was
it.
against MFF or not, but I know they did win it.
Or was it No Logic Gaming? Either way,
It-
we've seen it before in Dream League from Vega.
Yeah, they definitely have picked it before. I know he likes to go Mask of Madness. He opted out of he didn't get a BKB for a really long time, right? And we were both kind
Yes,
of questioning
it
why
took
he
a
didn't
long
buy
time to
one.
get it.
They still managed to win the game. And as Hani already said on the couch, they highly prioritized Roshan and they went for it non-stop. I would say this game, way worse Ursa game. Like, this is so annoying for an Ursa. You have to deal with Purge, even if you get BKB. And the other thing, too, is no one else on the side of Vega is really worth using the Purge on. You have two melee heroes. Brood, you're not going to be in team fights more often than not. And then you have the Ursa. So that's a really easy Purge target for Fly on the Shadow Demon. And then you look at it as their setup as well. It's Disruption into Ice Path, which is great for ganking. So if they ever get to a stage where their safe lane doesn't need help, this dual rotation can actually kill mid because Wind Ranger is extremely weak to nuke damage. So you land that Ice Path after the Disruption, you get a dual raise, you have a level 5 Shadow Fiend, that's a dead hero. So I feel like Monkey Business, they're going to be able to control the lanes fairly well.
Okay, and looking at the lanes so far, it's going to be a question of whether we do see this. It's going to be Pasha on that off-lane Ursa. You know,
I
at the
think
back
they're
of the
just going to
squad,
go aggressive, actually.
which is what we saw him play it on before.
They kinda
pick
need
the Ursa
to.
when they want to go aggressive.
Yeah, they kind of need to if you think about it. As I mentioned, you don't want the support combination of Monkey Business to be free to move around. So you kind of want to make it so having 3 heroes up there means the Shadow Demon and the Jakiro can't
30
leave.
seconds to battle.
And then you have a Bane who's great in tri-lane. You're going to have Tusk. And even if they just want to put the Ursa and the Bane together, that still makes it very difficult for one hero to stay up there on their own. They're going to need at least one more. And if you take one of the supports away from that combination of Monkey Business, it's far less potent. Like, you're not going to have a solo Shadow Demon roaming around helping you get kills. It's just not that good.
Unless for the time being, both teams going to avoid the fights here. Vega sticking to the top. Miracle will be able to get the bottom bounty rune here for the side of Monkey Business. I mean, so this mid lane matchup, Miracle on his Shadow Fiend. I mean, Harney talked about how proficient he was on the hero. He's going to be up against no one on the Wim Ranger. I mean, in terms of hero matchups, is there a kind of favorable side that you go with here?
Shadow Fiend always pulls ahead in the end. As Honey said, you do have an advantage as Wind Ranger, but it's very hard to take advantage of it on your own. Like, you can land a couple of clutch power shots, but you eat a couple of raises and you're pretty much back to square one. The thing about Shadow Fiend is, no matter who he's laning against, he will always get farm. Even if you kill him, 2-3 times, he's going to go to the jungle, he's going to find some stacks, and he's going to get his core items.
Well, talking about farming and finding stacks and such, I mean, this top lane for No-Tail, it's not going to be pretty if he doesn't get any kind of help from Fly and Crit at the moment. They're trying to get control of the pool camp here, but this is going to leave No-Tail just all on his own. He's trying to go around the ice shards, and this is going to be a first burn almost certainly, and the missed chance working out. No! Oh, no! Really? What? He gets himself out, and now Monkey Business looks to turn it. Solo's going to get disrupted up here. Crit is going to have another chance here with a dual breath. Fly might be the first go. No, it's going to be the Bane going down first. They do lose Fly and the Shadow Demon, but No-Tail somehow living there through the power of Drunken Haze. What a madman.
It's only 45%, and both heroes missed like 2 or 3 times in a row. Talk about RNG. That was insane. I mean, of course, he had to hit them both with Drunken Haze, so they were kind of standing on top of each other. Either way, he is going to suicide here to neutrals to get back to base.
Yeah, out of mana, out of health. It's going to be the easy way, and he's not losing any.
That was extremely fortunate. And what a freaking ice shards from Seema. That was so good.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. And also at the same time, none of that was first blood yet. As I believe it was both the creeps taking it. So just
it still counts as first blood, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just splits the gold.
My bad.
So.
But a 1-1 at the moment on the board. The fact that No-Tail lives there is going to be good because we talk about running this aggressive tri-lane. You need to be coming out on top. Otherwise, I don't know. It's just not going to be worth having the amount of heroes that Vega have up there.
Well, I think it's more of a... It's 2 birds with 1 stone. It's trying to stop No-Tail from farming. Obviously, that's going to be a high priority. The other thing is keeping our mid matchup in a 1v1. Because we know that eventually, sure, the Shadow Fiend's going to get some farm, but if
look at this matchup so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Wind Ranger is doing very well.
Yeah.
But this is what is expected. Like, prior to level 5, you're not going to be able to push the waves out fast enough as Shadow Fiend to continue getting your flash farm. And that means that Vega are just relying on no one's mechanical skill to be able to win this.
Oh, bit of a pause here. Okay. 2 minutes? Come on, no one.
Whenever somebody says 2 minutes, I just wait for them to say something like toilet. 2 minutes toilet.
Well, we'll see what no one's got going on. I mean, this top lane, the fact that, it is working out at the moment for Vega. They're getting the farm on the Ursa, they're stopping the farm on No-Tail.
I mean, the Brood is getting a lot, obviously,
on the
against the Slardar bottom. I mean, we haven't talked much about it because, of course, it's tri-lane versus tri-lane. That's really where we expect most of the action to be going down. And then we're also going to be having the 1v1 mid, which has big implications for both teams. If no one can get... maybe he gets a solo kill on the Shadow Fiend. That's pretty difficult to do, especially when the caliber of Miracle, 8,000 matchmaking points and all that jazz. Pretty damn good player. But I'm looking at these 2 heroes on either side for mid. Honestly, Shadow Fiend's not that great of a rotation hero. But, I mean, you think of, like, Queen of Pain. You think of, Puck heroes who rotate after they get level 6 and they just try to go and blow somebody up to help win a tri-lane. That's very common for teams to do. But SF is not really that hero unless you have a good setup stun to land some raises, whereas a well-placed Shackle can be a kill, or even a power shot snipe. It just has much longer range and you can add that damage in.
Top lane, there's going to be disruption out to Solo here. The Tron combo through. Pasha moving forward. No-Tail's just going to stand there and slap him. The Drunken Phase is out. No-Tail, he's going to feel safe to stick around here. Solo getting incredibly low here. The poison might be enough. No, it's not quite enough. There's a snowball forward. In fact, Seema looking for No-Tail here. He should be able to find a kill on Brew, and he will. So Tusk gets the kill onto No-Tail. At the same time, Fly does finish off Ursa. So it is both the cores going down in this lane. See if anything else happens here. Solo holding back Fly with a Nightmare. He's going to stick around here and just trade the right clicks. Knows that he's got the edge here against Fly. The chick charge is coming out. Who's going to win? He does get it. But Fly still gets the kill there with a final burst of poison.
It is a bloodbath up here. It really, really is. But I honestly, this Drunken Haze is doing so much work. If it was any other hero in the safe lane but Brew, I would say that Vega would just steamroll this, like, no questions asked. They would be crushing, but it's just so damn hard to kill when you can't auto-attack anyone.
And it's even trades at the moment on top. But as you said from the start, it is still keeping those supports from Monkey Business here, which
The Ursa is
you
still
said one of the
out-farming
main
as well.
reasons they did it. Yeah,
That's something to keep in mind. Like, No-Tail's only got 9 CS. He's died twice.
Oh, look at this towards the bottom. They're trying
wants
to go
the
in onto
steal.
Miracle.
Yeah.
Is he going to get the steal? Oh, okay. Miracle says, no, if I'm not having it, no one is. I mean, at the same time, talking about no one, he gets the top one. Double damage here now on the
Bottom
Wind
as
Ranger,
well.
and a bit of action going in as Flies come in with the rotation, looking for Mag. Trying to chase this down here. They've got another crush in a second. They don't even need it. They'll find the kill. They do lose Fly. Now that Seema's come in,
Oh, he could stick and
he's got to get
snowball.
himself out. He's out. He's gonzo.
Yeah. I don't know if it would have killed him. Like, he might have been able to get one more power
I mean, they did
shot
have a
off.
DD on the Wind Ranger if he could have Wind Run in as
I
well,
think
if the
level
stun
1
was there.
snowball is a
Yeah.
really short stun, though. It's only, 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Not really that long. But we can see now that the laning phase is starting to break down a bit. Getting a kill on the Brood is obviously going to be nice because Slardar is not necessarily having... he's actually not doing that bad. Like 23 last hit.
He's having a final time
How
down
is
there.
that possible? That is the first time we've seen any rotation. It's like 5 minutes in. How is he able to get so much out of this lane? I would actually like to watch this replay and see what happened.
Top lane still, Pasha. 23 against the 15 CS of No-Tail. It is close. Monkey Business would love to find some action. It's actually Vega looking a bit for here with the Nightmare onto No-Tail. They're moving forward. I've got Seema back up on this top lane as well. And of course, we are seeing Fly be a little more active around the map as he hangs around bottom for the time being. He's going to head up the river, see what he can get. Miracle did head to the jungle, started to clear out some of the camps. Now back to base as he regens up, which of course is giving the space to no one, and no one actually heading up here himself. He's level 6, has got the point in the focus fire.
It looks like he was going to potentially scat out stacks, just decides against it. And I mean, he did see Miracle TP, so there's not really much of a reason to check if the Shadow Fiend's actually here.
Top lane again, No-Tail's just having to play this really carefully. He's out of regen. He has got that double mango, but that's not going to save you when these 3 heroes come snowballing in at you. And Ursa, Pasha, now onto level 5, closing in on that level 6 where he'll just be able to tower dive you with the help of Solo and Seema. And there we go. Crit. Caught out by the shard, snowball to follow up, and this Jakiro isn't even going to get out a single spell at the speed that Vega take them down. At the same time, No-Tail just denies himself to the count. We saw that he was low on health, and he realizes suicide's going to be the best option here. Second suicide so far in the game.
Suicide is never the option, No-Tail. Remember that. There's always something to live for. But
lane, look at this Miracle.
yeah, he's in.
He's putting the pressure. No one might just try and turn if he can find a shackle. Oh, he doesn't shackle it though, and
dead.
Miracle turns around with the raises. Outplayed there by the 8k man. But at the same time, Seema eats the Mango. Maybe Mango's their Miracle's weakness here. Seema can get the final touch in, and he can. Nice rotation from Seema. Doesn't save no one, but gets that kill onto Miracle, and that's a big kill nonetheless.
That's a very action-packed game for 7 minutes to have 11 kills already. I think the really big thing here for Vega is that Seema is going to be level 6 pretty darn early. You compare that to the supports on the side of Monkey Business. Shadow Demon's level 4. I suppose Jakiro is actually level 5. So all in all, the supports from both teams actually getting quite a lot. Even with them going like tri-lane versus tri-lane, where you typically see people under-leveled.
There's so much action in. There might be more top. Seema's come back up here. He's got the mana here for the 1-2 combo, the snowball and the shard, so No-Tail's got to be careful. Pasha about a creep wave away from the ultimate. Coming online. Fly is there, positioned defensively, and they have got crit coming back in on the Jakiro, so they'll be ready to fight if Vega do start to kick it off. And just poisoning themselves here at the side. ready and waiting to go. Miracle's getting a bit of space in the mid as no one headed back into the jungle there to just clear up a camp. In terms of the farm between the two of them, it's still very, very close. Miracle on 44 for 1, 43 for 9 on no one.
Yeah.
Well, Fly's actually leading in here with a disruption. We'll see if they can combo through. They'll get the slows onto Solo. Solo's kind of even thinking about turning around here, setting something up with a Nightmare, seeing what he can find. He's going to find Fly here with the Brain Sap now. Pasha with the Earth Shot closing in. The Nightmare has actually now been taken off by No-Tail. Pasha is being forced back. No-Tail trying to move in. There is Seema hanging around here with an Invis Rune. Has the Snowball and the Shards ready, and they want to go. They're going to move straight in, but the disruption again from Fly, avoiding the stun here for No-Tail. No-Tail turns around, gives them the clap. All incredibly, look at all the poison coming in. I mean, they've got to get themselves out. They're all ticking incredibly low. Solo trying to juke this one out here, but I think he will still go down. They found him out. He's trying to turn around. He's got the brace up. Oh, can he get the brace up out? Yes, he can. But he might still go down. No, here's no one turning up on the Wind Ranger. Power shots the Shadow Demon. Solo now will set up the kill onto Crit. No one will move in position. It hasn't got mana here for the first 2 spells, but he's got enough for the Focus Fire.
He dies to Liquid Fire. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yes,
right.
There's a lot of action, Andy. You were right, and it's not showing any sign of stopping.
It is just battle time for both teams. The thing is, I think Monkey Business are actually going to start having a better shot at winning these kind of skirmishes because this Slardar almost has Blink, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the big point.
Like they're going to have Split soon because No-Tail's around 90 experience away from level 6. They're going to have Blink Dagger on Slardar. The fights are going to start getting a lot more difficult for Vega. So even though they might be leading by 2 kills right now, and their Brood is actually farming a tremendous amount, they're going to have to start to deal with more heroes coming to that top lane. And you can't... I don't really feel like you can stick around Mag this game. I still feel like their plan is to just get Roshan, try to pressure the lane more than they have in top, and maybe even mid too. I feel like Vega are feeling a little bit weak right now.
And they've kind of switched it up now. Mags on this Brood obviously heading into the jungle at this point, and it's going to give this safe lane here for Pasha to start farming it. They've got the supports down here as well. No one utilizing this top lane, which is going to give this space to No-Tail now, so he can find something on the Brewmaster. Just playing very carefully, keeping themselves all in their jungle side of Vega. As we're seeing the Slardar make the rotations around, as you said, just 100 away from that blink. And that is going to be the point where we see these fights maybe more often than not go the way of Monkey Business, because at the end of the day, what's going to be more impactful at this point? A Slardar with Blink or a Broodmother?
Yeah, that's kind of the point too, is... Okay, they could kill Fly bottom though.
Yeah,
that works.
Straight up Fiend's Grip. It's a good time for Solo to hit 6, ensures the kill there for Pasha. Very nice bit of play there from the side of Vega.
Any pick is going to be important here. I really like the Jakiro pick, by the way.
Yeah.
Not only because it's just a nice thing to synergize with the Shadow Demon for obvious reasons, but the Liquid Fire means that even as a support, if you're just in a lane by yourself, you can pressure the tower so hard because of the attack speed, slow, and the burn damage that you get on these towers. So normally, if you have a support and you're not like trying to stop the Brood's just pushing.
Look at this top lane. Oh,
okay, that's
Solo.
That should be a
He
dead
needs
main,
some backup. They did put the Primal Split in. They're going to look to try and finish off the tower, but the fortification comes out. Mag's hanging around on the sidelines. Seema's turned up with the fight as well, and No-Tail will just get the main one out of there. The Snowball's going to come through, though, and the stun will just latch. The shot's already been used, but he gets the slow with the Walrus Punch. They just don't have the follow-up to get themselves all in there, though. And they're going to be fine at the same time mid lane. That's the Blink reveal straight onto no one. One of the highest priority kills that Monkey Business could have looked for, and they get it. And they'll get the tower as well there for Miracle.
I do feel like Monkey Business just have a fairly large advantage right now just in terms of hero composition, what it's meant to do. If Pasha does not get away with this Roshan and he gets killed,
yeah, this game
is going to be so awful for Vega. Like,
but if he does get away with it...
If he does get away with it, it's going to be great because it puts him a lot closer to his Blink Dagger, which he will probably go. He does not like finishing up like Vlad's or anything like that. He typically just goes Blink.
Oh,
he's actually getting so
Is he going to check? Slardar.
Oh, he got bashed again! Oh my god.
Oh, Crit, are you going to check it out?
No, they're not going to check it.
He's got it.
This is actually such a big move from them.
I mean, can they? I think they can go on him though here.
He needs to TP away.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that might not be fast enough. He doesn't have Ice Pad! He doesn't have Ice Pad! Oh god. Alright. He went 3-0-3. To be fair, this is a fairly common Jakiro build. Maybe not so common because of the fact that they have a Shadow Demon. Like that combination in itself kind of makes you think
the combo, isn't it?
That you would actually want to get at least 1 point.
Yeah.
Like 2-1-3 at level 6, I think, is the Shadow Demon build, I guess, if you're partnering with that.
Dire's top tower
Even with that Aegis, though, I think Monkey Business are not feeling so scared. I mean,
Radiant's bottom tower
they're
is
applying
under
pressure to
attack.
towers. This Jakiro pick is doing so much for them because they can group up, they can fight around split, and it's very difficult for Vega to go into this.
They're going to try here. Solo has got the Fiend's Grip available. They're moving in, but look at the entire side jumping straight forward. The crush onto Pasha here. There's going to be the disruption set up on Solo, but he still gets on the Brain Step, and now with the Fiend's Grip onto Nose and the Power Shot as well. They burst down the Brew. The Aegis has been taken out of the hands here of Roshan. Crit taking a punch to the face. Now the focus fire for no one. Can he finish off the Jakiro? Yes, he can. The Urn from Fly, not enough to save him. Now they're trying to turn onto no one as Miracle turns up to the fight. He did put the mech, and now he's looking for the Earth skill as well, and he's going to get it. Triple kill for the SF. Seema tries to TP out, will get away. But
He didn't
Miracle
even-
turning up at the right time for the side of Monkey Business.
Didn't even have to use his mech. And
did
regardless,
Jesus.
Yeah, he didn't pop it. He's like, yeah, no one's really even low. No, Jakiro's the only one who died, and he died before Miracle was even in the engagement. A couple of things about that team fight. I think there was a buyback. Yeah, no tail bought out. But the problem with their composition is, again, Mag cannot help. So when Monkey Business come to a lane in force, and they didn't even use split, they didn't use mech on their Shadow Fiend, and they beat you that hard in an engagement, there are some serious issues. And the other thing too is you can see top, Jakiro can deal with these broodlings all by himself. He doesn't really need any help. He can teleport away if he needs to.
Seema, do you want to do this? I don't think you do. I don't know if you do. He's going to get disrupted up here. Miracle's moving forward. Pasha's trying to go onto No-Tail here, but No-Tail gets the primal spill off. Seema did get the snowball out. They'll try and chase him down, but he pops the shards here. Solo moving in as well, seeing if he can set anything up with the Nightmare. They hold Seema in place and they'll follow through with the stun. At the same time, Jakiro at the top lane actually got the kill onto Brood with the help of the Slardar. Seema will go down here. Second pick off here for the side of Monkey Business. Pasha's trying to clean up Fly here, bringing him low here with a Fury Swipes. Will get the kill onto the Shadow Demon. Miracle's going to tick out as well as no one finds the focus fire. So a 2 for 2 there across the map. And Vega getting themselves some big kills there with a Miracle takedown. That's a pretty nice one that they'll be very happy with.
That was such a hard kill, though. You see how long it took him to kill Miracle? That was even with a Brain Sap coming in from Solo, stopping the Shadow Demon from throwing out any other spells by Nightmaring, and it still took, I don't know, like 10, 15 seconds of just straight focus firing him for him to actually die. The nice thing is no one has a Maelstrom. I like this pick a lot. They realize that they're kind of lacking a bit more wave clear on other heroes besides the Brood, because obviously Mag's always going to be on the other side of the map. We saw how tanky the Shadow Fiend is already, just with those items. I think this, with Focus Fire, is probably the best way to make sure that you can kill the cores of Monkey Business prior to getting BKB. And they know that they have damage issues right now. They certainly do not have the amount of DPS that Monkey Business have.
That's for sure at this point. I mean, overall the farm, you know, the fact that Shadow Fiend's storming ahead. The graphs, you know, nothing too major. Top lane, this Brood's got to be careful. The pings are coming out. Fly is there with the good old Slardar. We'll be ready to jump on him if he comes out too far. And this smoke up from Vega, it's going to be very important that they find something off the back of it. They're going to go into the jungle, and there's a fair few of the side of Monkey Business hanging around. Fly might be the one caught out straight with a Blink. They go for Fly. Fly will get the disruption out, but the shackle onto the Shadow Demon enables the side of Vega to find the clean pick off, and off the back of that Monkey Business just get themselves the hell out of there. They don't want to stick around. They've seen the full force of Vega, and they're just going to play it sensibly here.
I like the movement. Like, Vega know that they need to try to do something. They can't just...
Solo, can he go for a solo?
Oh, nice.
Lol.
That's really good.
Oh, that
They can maybe even
Invis
get
rune.
mid off this.
Oh, he's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, they're just going to focus fire and go for the tower.
That is not a bad pick-off for a solo Bane to find.
And that also means that Mag's going to be able to pressure top. So even if they rotate to this tier 1 defense and force,
Here
they
we're
need to
gonna
get
go.
kills.
Oh, the three-man crush straight onto Solo with the Amplify. They'll find one. Miracles turns up the shackle. Won't latch for no one. Pasha trying to TP out. He's going to make it. The Ursa's out of this one. Can Monkey Business find it? Oh, no, he's not. No, they got him.
He got disrupted.
They got
yeah.
disrupted. My bad. Trying to get the crush, but the punch from Seema slowing down. These shards as well are nice, but ice on ice action here. And with the Urn Shadow and the poison ticking him down, they'll get the Seema the Slayer as well. Monkey Business with a very, very fruitful fight there.
I was going to say, if they didn't get a lot from that reaction, it could be bad for Monkey Business, but thankfully the Slardar was in the right position, got a good initiation, and off a couple of TPs, they take a fight handedly. Nothing really that I feel Vega could do against that. And that's the other thing, too. When they're fighting on equal terms, I seriously doubt Vega can actually win that engagement, barring like an amazing Shackle coming in from no one. They get a good Nightmare, they get a good Fiend's Grip onto somebody. That is their fight win condition. That is much harder to do than Monkey Business just walking in, using Primal Split and throwing up the Ursa or the Wind Ranger in the air. Like, that's all they have to do to take a team fight. And
What do you reckon about this this pick up here on the Slardar?
Oh,
Shadowblade.
No, it's good. It's actually super good. The thing is, he can even get a gem at some point. So if he has a gem, he can find the Brood out. He can open on him, just go crush, go pop amp.
Oh, Solo. Oh, the crush a little bit short. Solo turning around it, giving him the eye.
There are so many people up here looking for this freaking spider.
And No-Tail just going to clear out the Broodlings there as they were starting to jump away at flight. Yeah, Mag playing it very safe and very sensibly. And Pasha, I'd love to try and find this mid-tier one, already sitting fairly low at the moment. He's going to blink away though as the movement is coming in from the side of Monkey Business.
But you notice the way that Mag plays this, like, he very seldom shows himself. I think that's what Hani was talking about the other day when he was referring to Demon's Brood and how often he showed in lane. Like, Mag barely ever comes out. I mean, he does have an aggressive ward in the jungle, so he has a better idea of where he can be. As we can see, they also miss a sentry on this one, so it's going to be up for a little while longer. But this is important because look at how much time they're wasting being up here.
The shots to set it up. Pasha's coming through with Seema as well. Miracle will put the mech, but the Fiend scripts there to follow up. Fly's turned up. No, sorry, Moonmeander's turned up here on the Slardar. Miracle will survive here with his defensive disruption. They'd love to try and finish him up, but they're not going to make it. Miracle's going to get out. They turned it around. They found the kill onto Ursa. Double kill here for the Slardar. They may just even find Seema as well on the Tusk. He's thrown up into the air. He will get the snowball out. But I don't know if he escapes from this one, Andy, as he rolls himself in. He tries to find something, but it's going to be Monkey Business finding him. And what a turnaround there from what looked like a pretty nice initiation from Vega. Monkey Business were just, they were totally ready for that.
Yeah, I think this game is a really good example of Vega's lanes needed to go exceptionally well.
Oh, no
nice.
one.
That was nice.
What a shackle.
Yeah, that's a DD as well. But their laning phase top had to go great because the Primal Split coming out from the Brewmaster, partnered with Jakiro Liquid Fire, that's all you need to pressure Monkey Business.
Now that might not have been the TP, son.
Questionable. They have an Atos as well.
Yeah, he's gone. I mean, they might try and do something here with the Ursa, but he's in between 4 heroes. I mean, that might not have been the play either.
They're committing.
They're looking for crit here, but the mech's going to be popped by Miracle. He'll get the razors out. Seema's going to get taken down. Pasha will fall as well. And a little bit of a mess there from Vega in the mid lane as they just suddenly lose 3 heroes. They'll lose a tier 2 and they may even lose more. That was not an ideal bit of action there from the side.
They're super far behind. Like, the Brewmaster hard counters the Ursa in the early game, so I'm not sure if in the end laning against it is exactly the way that Vega wanted to do it, but maybe they felt obligated to keep the supports under control on the side of Monkey Business. But we saw what happened in the very beginning, right? They commit all in on No-Tail. The one Drunken Haze stops both heroes from getting that first blood. I'd say if that kill happens, then the lane maybe goes a little bit differently. You know, you get early boots on the Ursa, you can start tower diving and such with those heroes. They just never really got the momentum they needed. And because No-Tail might have been held down and farm, okay, yeah, you're not going to have like early Blink Dagger, but it didn't matter because the Slardar had his Blink at like 12 minutes. So you already have your initiator. You can fight around Primal Split. Miracle's mech timing was great. The first Roshan that Vega got didn't accomplish anything. They actually lost that fight. So it didn't really feel like Vega ever had any momentum going into this game.
Now we can see at the moment, Moon, he's doing that job as you said. He picked up the gem and he's just trying to hunt down Mag. Mag's playing it very carefully though. Sticking in right in the corner of the map. And he'll leave the lane, look to push and put pressure on elsewhere.
But if you think about it, this is one of the few heroes who can do this for the team.
Yep.
You just give him the gem, and it makes the Brood, like even in this game, you want to show the gem. You want the Brood to see it, so then he's like, oh, they have a gem. Now I have to play like super passive, right? That means you can't push in as hard. Like that mentality as the Brood player has got to feel awful, like knowing that you just can't go.
Oh, I'm talking about going. Monkey Business smoked up.
This is real bad.
Oh, they're ready to contest Roshan. There we go, straight away. No-Tail with the clapping onto Mag. Miracle trying to force back Seema. The shackle won't connect for no one. And now the 2-man crush from Moon. Straight onto Solo with a follow by his fire. The Requiem from Miracle. No one put the BKB in the focus fire onto Miracle. He's doing a fair bit of damage here. Now Pasha's joined up. They just can't kill anyone. Maybe with this snowball they can find Miracle. Can they get him? No, he's just going to turn onto Seema and he's going to kill him. Double kill for No-Tail. There's been a buyback from Solo here on the Bane, but they lose Pasha as well. It's an absolute train wreck of a fight here for the side of Vega. Solo's just left to hide in the trees. And the side of Monkey Business will just go for Roche. The buyback from Bane. not able to accomplish anything, and Vega losing such a huge amount off the back of that fight.
I think this is Monkey Business game to lose. Like,
Yeah,
it kind of has been actually for a while. It's very early on. Like 23 minutes is not a long game by any stretch. And even before this, I would say that Monkey Business had the advantage because again, the Brood never really got a whole lot done. The Slardar farmed on equal terms with the Brood in that lane, even though Mag did get ganked once. We always have to remember that. Fly rotated down after like the first 6 kills, I think. 3 between both teams.
Yeah, that was a 3-3 and he went to the bot tower.
So he helped out enough to get Slardar to his blink.
Yep.
And then as soon as that happened, Monkey Business just went ham. They're like,
out
our
of
5-man
control.
is so much better than yours. We can just fight you. And the problem is the Brood can't come to those fights. And because they have another hero on the team as a support capacity that can influence their pushing potential so much in the Jakiro. Like Lumi mentioned, or maybe it was Shane who was talking about Shadow
Pasha.
Stone, right?
I think they know he's here. Slardar's coming round. He's got to be so careful about revealing himself. One Blink Crush and a
grand.
Blink Requiem. And he's gone. Yeah, he's
He's
got to get
Bottom
himself out.
tower is under attack.
So this tower should be free. But the thing about Jakiro is he offers the same kind of pushing potential in the sense that the tower just doesn't kill the creep wave if Liquid Fire's on it. That's the most important
Mag.
part.
Yeah, gonna get spotted out from the high ground here by Moon, and the bashes are real. They are real, and that Manta style isn't gonna save you from that amount of hate coming out from Monkey Business for the Spider. And take the bottom tier 2, they take the kill on the Brood, and Brood now down for 45 seconds. Monkey Business are gonna be ready with the push. They're gonna need to have Moon rejoin them here on the Slardar. But even without them, the amount of pressure that they can put into this tower without having to worry too much about what Vega have. They are smoked up, looking for some kind of blink initiation. But it's going to be the blinking from No-Tail. Straight in with the Primal Split. Looks for the stun onto No one. Just buying the space here for Miracle to keep hitting onto the tower with Crit and his Liquid Fire. Just controlling this situation. And this is going to be bottom rack's gone. 25 minutes in. Vega just don't have an answer for this.
They can't do anything, yeah. They cannot do anything to this. I mean, the split wears off. Maybe they try to go in, but that's going to be their last shot. But they still don't have Brood.
They do have a Fiend script. They're going to pop it straight away into No-Tail, but the disruption is there from Fly. Beautiful play. They've found Solo. They've found Pasha as well. It's a double kill for Miracle. The Focus Fire will finish off No-Tail, so they find something in return, but Miracle just blinks forward. The Ice Path from Crit sets it all up, and GG well played is called. It's all too much for Vega. Monkey Business in the first game of the series, 25 minutes in, taking it 30-17, and there was just that point, as you said, the blink timing on Slardar for an offlane Slardar on his own against a Brood was pretty insane.
I really want to watch that again because I want to understand how he had so much
from the Slardar. I mean, overall, Monkey Business.
Like, how did Moon have that much? Makes no sense. Like, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to watch it. He could just have been spamming Crush because he did buy a bottle at one point, right? So Crush has an 8-second cooldown. You can use it fairly often. I think he was also given sentries at one point. So maybe that's why he did so well in the lane. Either way, Monkey Business, not really any falters that game. I mean, sure, top was a little bit of a mess. But after that, they realized, oh, well, we have an answer for any kind of aggression that you throw at us. You Fiend script somebody, we can disrupt them. We got an early mech on the Shadow Fiend. We got Liquid Fire for pushing. We got Brewmaster for the team fights. I like the way that they draft because in this game, no hero needed a tremendous amount to be able to hit their stride. Like, Shadow Fiend gets mech, you need like one Blink Dagger, and you can fight. That's it.
Yeah.
That is such an early timing that Vega couldn't even deal with it. It's like, all right, what do we do against this 5-man? We actually have no answer.
Well, let's see if they've got an answer in game 2. I mean, they're going to have to do something a little bit different because that first game, quite the performance from Monkey Business. They're going to feel very confident going into the rest of this series. But from myself and Andy, we'll see you very shortly for the next match. First of all, we're going to have a quick ad break and then over to the panelists to see what they have to say about game 1. See you in a bit.
welcome back to the Aces RG Dream League live here from the DreamHack Monster Energy Studios. It was monkey business, as everybody on the couch predicted. Their draft was superior. Was it actually their draft, you think, that won them the game, or rather that lost Vega their game?
I think a perfect example was when they tried to kill Big Daddy No Tail in the top lane.
Yeah.
And they missed like 4 attacks in a row. I was like, the Para Brewmaster against
Like
Ursa
very early on, yeah.
is amazing. Like even late game, you just spin them, then Shadow Demon on top of that. It's very difficult for us to just kind of pin down someone and blow them up, like, which is the power of the hero.
What do you think the reasoning was that the Vega lost, Hani?
Monkey Business played better.
Okay.
No, I do think that draft for sure favored Monkey Business. The example you mentioned in the early game, it's unlucky. I think that's just, you're just unlucky with the situation. Vega should have had the kill. They could have maybe snowballed the lane and thereby get a Roche better. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But it also shows what risk you take by going into a draft like that. If this happens to Ursa, your game can get crushed. It's an important kill that needed to happen for them to even execute this lineup. And that's, I feel, where the flaw lies in when you run a lineup like that. And on top of that, I believe that Slaughter as well, he got his blink ticket very, very early. And that just took away the brute factor a lot, despite Mag playing really well. He was always in the jungle. He did not show up. He didn't die to him being constantly scouted. And yeah, in the end, sure, draft mattered a lot, but execution from Monkey Business was also superior.
Could Vega have done something differently with the draft they already had to make this game better?
I thought Ursa was not the pick.
Ursa was not the pick.
Yeah, I mean, the Vega playstyle a lot of times is to get those quick pickoffs. They really like their TA, for example. They like the combination for Dazzle and Slaughter, where you jump in, crush amp, and you get one quick kill.
Yeah.
It's hard to get quick kills when you have heroes on like Shadow Demon, Brewmaster, and Jakiro on the other side. In fact, I thought Jakiro's not skilling Ice Path to like level 9 or 10 was a pretty big mistake, because it was such a great long initiation or counter initiation tool. But with that said, we saw how quickly he kills spiders with that max dual breath liquid fire combo up top. In either case, I mean, I have a replay that I'm going to show that Monkey Business just had way superior control when it comes to team fights.
Okay, well, let's see that replay then. Luminous analysis.
This replay, we're going to focus on Brood, the spider, and Ursa, and how little they were going to do in the fight. So if we jump in, I mean, we got to keep in mind these are melee right clickers, right? But when you're going to be completely controlled in the fight, we don't even need to do it in half speed, because the team fight is not exactly very hard to see. So we don't need to do it at half speed.
Ursa runs away. So right now, Ursa's not doing anything. I'll be Ursa. I'll run away. I'll wait until I can go in.
Crush.
Ursa's still not doing anything. Ursa walking back and forth. Ursa walking away from the scene. Ursa walking back in. Ursa's still running towards the target. There we go. Now he jumps in. Oh, he gets stunned. Never mind. The crush goes straight. He got 2 hits out though. 2 hits.
Then he gets
and then he gets fueled up in the air. Yeah, Ursa's up in the air. Oh, Ursa is back, and now he's getting stunned again because there's another stun. He actually got 2 attacks out the entire fight.
Hashtag Luminous Analysis.
I mean,
that's perfect.
The reason I said we don't need a half speed that one is so self-explanatory. Like the moment that Ursa gets seen, he's gonna get disabled.
Yeah.
The moment that Mag walks in, he dies. I felt like when you have Wind Ranger as one of your core, she is already so single targeted that you need something that's AoE that allows the rest of your team to do their work. But combining Ursa with Wind Ranger, the team fight has to go with you initiating it, getting a 4v5 immediately to have any chance of you winning the team fight. If they initiate like that, then there's just no chance.
Okay, then there was nothing in their lanes they could have done differently to maybe get this scenario be a better one?
I believe what saw to me next to, obviously the snowball factor that you had to go into is what happened in the very last, like the picking order. The very last picking order was Brew first into an Ursa. You pick Ursa into a Brew, which is like very strange already. And then the follow-up hero or ban was not a Shadow Demon. When you pair Shadow Demon with Twin, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense to pick it against an Ursa as well, to control the hero throughout even BKB.
Did they ban Undying, didn't they? That was the last ban, I believe.
Was it?
They banned Undying last, yes.
Yeah.
Undying would have been also very annoying to deal against.
For sure,
Yeah.
but you get a lot of combination as well as a safe for the mid lane for the Shadow Fiend is more protected. He can sit on that lane as well. I just feel like these last two heroes made so much synergy or brought so much synergy to the side of Monkey Business and were perfect against the draft that that Vega had.
And so Ursa, what could Vega's plan have been with Ursa? Because obviously they knew that they were picking it into a brew.
They just wanted to fight them for the Roshan and fight them fast. Like, Ursa is a very good hero if you can get the pick off and then just take Roshan in like seconds after that. But because the laning stage didn't really go in their favor, it just made that more difficult. Like, they got the first Roshan, but he was kind of on his own. And then he just died twice after that. Like, he just got skied. It's a risky pick, but like, I think if you're going to do it, you need to set up for it more. You know, have more control.
So what would we hope to see from Vega in the next game? How are they going
Ember
to
Spirit.
do 1-1? Ember Spirit was
That's it.
completely ignored previous
was.
draft, which is not something that we see very often. Normally is actually pretty highly prioritized, actually.
I overall think that the draft they had could be executed on the dire side a lot better.
Yeah.
When you are on favor for the Roche, that you pick an Ursa, it makes a lot more sense. Also, I think that Broodmother is a better hero on the dire side.
Okay.
That you utilize the jungle if you're playing the offlane Broodmother in that sense. But execution, I wouldn't say the execution was actually the big problem. They had successful ganks, it just didn't work with the draft. And obviously the big factor at the very beginning was very unfortunate for them.
And so if a lot is dependent on the draft, then by all means, let us show you the draft, because it has begun. No heroes picked just yet, but Slardar so far, the first one, they do not want to deal with. First ban Slardar doesn't happen very often, but I think in this case, Moon played that Slardar so well.
They probably want to force a Brood ban here. So
They could
there's
try,
a different opening that you might see a Wisp opening if the Brood gets banned.
What about Doom?
Dire team back.
Yeah, Doom.
That's
Brood,
the
and
question
Wisp.
now. That's the question now
Yeah.
for Monkey Business. You can either you just leave them. You leave them all three in the pool.
You get either IO or Doom.
you can
Darkseer is
potentially
still in the pool as well. And we have Darkseer,
Okay.
Brood, and Io in the pool. And Doom. So,
But now they have to decide whether or not they want to have the Brood.
yep. Go for
And
Io
they go
first
for the
pick.
Eye.
Do you counterpick the Tiny?
Tiny Lich.
Okay, you do
Yeah.
counterpick the Tiny.
Yeah.
Or not counterpick, but
Yeah,
deny
you pick
pick.
it. Yeah.
The deny pick, yeah. And Tiny on its own is still very strong as well.
So I think we're gonna see. Wait, are we gonna see the offlane Tiny? No.
I
We're
think
gonna see the
Miracle
offlane
played
Doom.
a. Didn't Miracle just play mid tiny as well?
I
Even
think he
without
played it
Wisp.
with- Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the combo even without Wisp, where he just played a mid tiny.
Really? Isn't it No-Tail that plays the Tiny?
Yeah, I think No Tail plays Tiny.
Yeah.
I do think I have a Miracle tiny in my head
Really?
without a Wisp.
Okay.
But I might be wrong
No,
here as well.
it could be either. Both players probably know how to play pretty well.
Dire team
And it's nice that
back.
we don't know for sure yet who it's going to be, because it leaves a lot open, because perhaps also Vega doesn't know exactly who is going to play that, and they might actually remember it better than we do.
Ancient Apparition, I think, is a big pick here for Monkey Business.
What's the usual setup for
10
solo,
seconds remaining.
or like with solo, that when he plays the Wisp, what partner does he have
5
if he can't
seconds
get
remaining.
Against this matchup?
No, often like I know that the win rate
Reserve
for
time.
Tiny Wisp that they
Mhm.
run as well is
Yeah.
very high.
Yeah,
But what's the stats on him playing Wisp with another hero?
I wish I could tell you. I'm not stats
Okay.
man.
I don't know. But if I'm
I'll
looking at
look it
this
up.
draft,
I'll look it
Lumi
up.
is going to look it up.
Okay.
It will be looked
I think
up.
Necrolite is a decent one against this. Like, you have so much heal. But I honestly think AA is going to be huge.
Necrolite's not a Vega type hero though. They like to be the one on the offensive.
And they actually removed the AA because of reasons you
Dire team
pointed out
back.
as well.
Could almost go for more heal.
I think Necrolite.
Necro can fit.
Yeah, I think it's
At
very
the same time, you face a Doom. It's not
tough.
very pleasant.
Yeah, it is very tough.
But you have a relocate, to be honest. It's
And Dazzle sustain heal as well.
yeah.
I think at the moment, if you're Vega,
10
you don't worry
seconds
too much about the
remaining.
Doom, because you want to mostly focus on your own gameplay, and you're
5
having
seconds
your own plan,
remaining.
and being able to execute that. And if you can already in theory, as you pointed out, deal with the Doom.
Reserve
Doom
time.
is somewhat countered with these two
Yeah.
heroes.
There's a Necrophos, so Monkey Business is also aware of it. And there is the Alchemist. First time we've seen him in
Okay.
2 days, I think.
Oh boy.
I like that hero.
Yeah.
You
A
do?
lot of cheating.
I think I actually remember now. The miracle game you're talking about was when No Tail played Alchemist. And he got a Aghanims at 10 minutes or 11 minutes, and he had like 14k net worth or
that's
something.
true.
That is my
was,
strat.
Team
There was
It is.
there was a game where he instantly boosted him the
Yeah.
axe,
Straight away
and
axe.
then he went PTs, drums, dagger. Yeah, that was
That's my strat.
the
I
item
claim
that
it.
he went.
Actually, I stole it
You
from
stole
AUI,
it from, yeah, but
I claimed it mine.
you can steal something for a certain amount of time, but that's yours. That's how it works.
Okay,
right?
so not
Yes.
sure how relevant this stat
He
is.
didn't claim
but
it back.
When Vega has Wisp, but not Wisp Tiny,
Mhm.
the
10
Wisp is 1 and 2,
remaining.
as opposed to the normal.
I would actually think a
5
Sven could
seconds
fit.
remaining.
Could fit.
High armor
Vega,
against
well,
it, yeah.
It's not that great against a
Reserve
tiny,
time.
but
The
it
combo
makes a
with
lot of sense
Darkseer.
with Darkseer.
I
Yeah.
think you need something that's not gonna get craggy though.
You don't get credit in BKB, do you?
No, you don't.
You do not.
I was thinking somebody like a Life Stealer.
Life
to
Stealer.
move fast.
Atta boy.
Great against kind of these strength-based heroes.
It's just not that. I wouldn't. I think it's not that good
With Iron Shell,
against a Doom, as well as it's not that great with the Wisp as a combo.
it's not.
Because you have to time it really well on when you tether.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, with Life Stealer and Wisp, you have a 3-man gang squad instead of a 2, right? And I don't know. It's definitely a hero that Vega hasn't really played, but you could also say the same
10
about Ursa, right?
seconds
They
remaining.
drafted Ursa last game when it wasn't a great pick.
I think Ember Spirit's still a
5
decent pick, even
seconds
though they do have a
remaining.
Doom.
I think Doom and Tiny are so great against the Ember. I'm not sure if you want to pick it here.
Reserve time.
To me, it's still Sven. It's a good pick here. Sven with a bit.
Feels like it is.
All right.
Dire team
Is that a
ban.
contesting tri lane?
They might.
Probably the last time I've seen that kind of lane was Alliance.
Yeah. Didn't they do like the heal with the IO is like the dazzle on top of
10
that? They did
seconds
Treant as well with
remaining.
IO. It's actually very, very offensive.
But that's a
5
the
seconds
problem, or
remaining.
like
But they need
I
to
wouldn't
have
say it's a problem, but it shows again how Vega prioritizes their draft. They go with something that can
Dire
work
team
out
pick.
really well if it snowballs.
Mhm.
If you fall behind with a CK,
Oh, it's very, very
Yeah.
difficult.
it's really difficult
And
to
I
come
think
back.
they shouldn't try to run it aggressive because you need some help to shut down that Alchemist mid. If Alchemist is gonna be mid. You need to do something to slow down his farm if you can. Because slowing down Tiny's farm doesn't work in this case if he's gonna be bought on Aghanims anyway. Oh god, I like Monkey Business lineup a lot.
It's very difficult for anyone to get locked down now with the.
There's
the
so
bonus
many
damage-
disables,
yeah,
there's
it's
so
insane.
much control
Yeah,
coming
something
after
you,
that.
you can point out as well is that Tiny benefits from VS the most out of all heroes,
Mhm.
just because the aura scales with his base damage.
Mhm.
So he
Oh,
technically
it's
gets
actually
the
sick. Yeah.
he gets the most damage out of
yeah.
the aura.
Yeah.
What do you think,
10
Lumi, last
seconds
pick?
remaining.
I
The-
mean,
The Vega play Legion Commander.
it
Five
though.
should have been
seconds
Life Stealer instead of
remaining.
CK. I'm just saying, Life Stealer would rip all of these heroes apart.
I don't know if you ulti with CK.
Reserve
It's-
you don't
it's
really
not that
care if
great
you get
against
doomed.
No heroes.
You're
good
still
against
gonna
him.
get stunned.
A little bit, yeah.
Everybody's
Sven
gonna
is
get
good
stunned.
against Doom.
What about if you put IO Tiny or IO Chaos Knight mid and you put Dazzle plus Sven bottom?
I okay, that's nice.
Or is Dazzle plus Life Stealer if you still can, if you still want him? Or Dazzle plus another core because there's the Sven.
Okay.
Oh,
Called
Honey.
it! And Hani called it as well.
You're right.
I just steal other people's ideas, it's fine. Who do you think is gonna win?
I like Vega in this draft actually.
Okay, Hani?
I do like Vegas draft, and they play really well around IO. So I'm gonna go with Vega in this draft.
Okay. Lumi?
Sticking with my 2-0 monkey business.
Okay.
They have a stronger draft. in my
We're gonna
opinion.
find out who's gonna be the right one. It is over to our casters, Owen and Andy, for game 2 of Monkey Business taking on Vega Squadron.
Gentlemen, welcome back for game 2 between Vega and Monkey Business. I'm OD Pixel here. I'm here with Draskell. The game has begun, so let's get ourselves in. And Draskell, tell us what we're about to see here. We've got a very exciting game on our hands, you know, regarding the hero pick so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Vega's lanes kind of roll out. I think we were talking a bit during the draft, and we kind of expected some 2-1-2s, just depending on who's going mid, if it's going to be the CK or the Sven. We'll find out shortly. And since...
it's going to be you're right, it's CK.
Yeah, I think the CK Wisp just has better kill potential on the heroes of Monkey Business. So you want to put the stronger lane mid to help control the runes. That way the Wisp can keep filling his bottle. It's going to be really important for this combination. But I feel like Vega, they have the tools necessary to deal with this. And you can never underestimate a Vac into a Sven stun with God Strength and some cleaving coming out that can actually be devastating.
Ooh, the wombo combo.
Yeah, on the side of Monkey Business, you have the potential for what? Alpha Wolf plus Vlad's plus level 4 Vengeance Aura. That is some serious plus damage. I think it's actually like 86, 87%, something like that. So you're almost like permanently walking around with a double damage as long as you're with your team.
It's pretty scary. I mean, we've seen a few games in Dream League where we've had Tinies just free hit the racks. I mean, this could be potentially happening again.
It
with
could be
auras.
a 2-hit in this game.
It could be a 2-hit. It's going to be pretty terrifying. But at the same time, as you said, Vega have the potential here with their lineup to get those wombo combos in and those pickoffs, of course, as well, with Solo on the IO. One of those heroes that he does indeed like to play and has a pretty good success rate with. But lanes overall, so this top lane, this tri-lane, is it enough to deal with the darks here? And is Mag going to have to play very carefully?
He can die super easy in this lane.
Level
this is
1
triple
Iron
stun.
Shell. He hasn't got this surge. He could die here.
He's 2 now.
Okay. But still, with the stuns, I think he
Here's
might
one.
be dead. Light Strike and the Avalanche is
He
bringing
is
him
so
low.
tanky.
Oh, tanky man.
Yeah, Miracle was trying to bait him out. He brought a lot of regen though, so he'll be fine. He's got a salve and tangos on him. It's not really too big of a deal, but that was the old triple iron.
Look at this mid lane. No one's just going for it here.
Yeah.
He's giving it some. Pulls him back, Big Daddy on the Alchemist. And then so the other lane, of course, this bottom lane, the off lane Moon Meander Doom. We know the hero's pretty damn strong.
He's already got the Alpha Wolf.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Pashas should still be able to find farm in this lane, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Like the Doom's not going to necessarily pressure ultra hard. And I also feel like diving a Dazzle as Doom, it's one of the few heroes in lane where you look at it and you say, I can't go.
Mid lane
Speaking
again.
of going.
Yep, bring him back, No-Tail. He does get the stun off onto no one, though.
Yeah.
He'll head himself up. And he will be fine for the time being, but we're already seeing how this CKIO combo could be one of the answers to dealing with a mid-alchemist.
It is very hard to lane against this as any hero, really, because especially once they start getting some levels, like level 3 on the CK right now, if Solo was level 2, the spirits do a lot more damage to add to that, and then you can have Reality Rift on top of a stun.
Yep.
There is kill potential here. Now, when No-Tail hits 6, it's going to be significantly harder, and then Vega are going to have to rely on already having won the lane by that point, and hope that even like if they don't win, they can just go for relocate ganks instead, because the Alk will get farm. It's just a matter of when.
Yes, there's going to be that point exponentially getting farther and farther ahead in terms of worth. And well, nice stun from Crit there. Straight onto the IO will ensure that Lina is able to snag herself the rune, and Solo is going to be left with that empty bottle. Bottom lane going in with the stun. This could be your first blood here. The heal from Scorched Earth. Not strong enough to keep him alive, and first blood for the Sven. Vega are going to be very happy with that beginning.
That was a real big heal bomb coming in from Seema. Was he actually? No, he was only level 2 at that time, so that was a level 1 Shadow Wave. So Sven stun on top of creeps, on top of heal.
It's a fair bit of physical damage.
Yeah, the thing is, since Shadow Wave is physical damage, and Doom has no armor pretty much, like he actually has 0, you get hit for all of it, like just pure damage. So you just get wrecked.
I mean, with the poison touch, everything that Dazzle's going to be throwing at you is isn't going to be fun to deal with as Doom.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the first couple of picks, I thought that Monkey Business would have a lineup that's fairly hard to deal with because they have 3 very like frontline style heroes that are just going to want to run at you. But having picked Dazzle second and having Sven armor on top of that for your team, you can always use an offensive weave. And that helps you cut through heroes like Tiny and Doom, Alchemist. They all have pretty low starting armors. And that means during the mid game, your CK is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Your Sven is going to hit for a ton. Like, you have the potential to just blow people up in fights, regardless of whether or not they're like these tanky frontliners like Monkey Business have.
And I think, as you said, as well as just using it offensively, the defensive capabilities in the sense that we've already talked about how Monkey Business are going to have a lot of right-click. With those auras, with the Tiny, I mean, just stacking up the armor, that's certainly one way to deal with it. And Vega have got the heroes to do that with, and obviously with Darksea as well. We'd imagine that Mag's going to get a good timing on the mech. So there's going to be that point where they do push into Monkey Business, and you know, maybe the Alk hasn't got a good amount of farm by that time, and Vega can exploit that weak point in the game that Monkey Business is going to have.
I'll see if they can actually get that accomplished here. A lot of it's down to lanes for Vega. Again, it's not as bad as it was last game where they couldn't win because they just had a vastly inferior draft, in my opinion, but in this game, it's going to be a lot closer, and they're still doing well in their lanes.
Yeah, they are indeed. CS slightly favoring the side of Vega at the moment. Being the fact that the biggest difference is that Moon's a little bit behind in terms of the old right clicks. That's going to be expected. Mag as well hasn't found too much, but there will be that point as well where he'll just get more and more with the Iron Shell spam in this lane, and there won't be a lot the Monkey Business can do to stop it. The stacks being created very nicely by Solo, already being prepared for whoever wishes to clear them up on the side of Vega. Bottom lane, we're going to see a bit of a rundown here, trying to move in, but Poison Touch from Seema will force Moon to think twice about diving too deeply for the dazzle. And Seema's just going to be able to trade hits and keep him at bay here. We're seeing the power of the dazzle and just the fact that it is going to be a very hard lane for Doom just to dive in and get kills like he would do in a lot of other situations.
Yeah, you can't go aggressive.
They're going to get the stun onto No-Tail. They've got Mag turning up as well with the Iron Shells laid down. No-Tail will get the stun onto Solo here. The Wave of Terror coming through as well as Fly moves in, but they've already lost the Alchemist. They'll find the kill in the mid lane and a very nice rotation there. And an unexpected one potentially as well from Mag. And it looks like off the back of that, he's going to just head into the jungle now, which will free up that top lane for Miracle.
I think this is actually... It's a little bit rough right now for Monkey Business because they don't have an answer to the lanes of Vega. Like, you can't just have your 2 stunning supports sit top anymore. I think you have to rotate out. And between the two of them, like...
Solo. I mean, yeah, he's got the tether.
fine.
He's fine. He's calculated. He knows he's going to be good.
But I do feel there needs to be some kind of answer for Monkey Business in the early game here. Like, the supports need to try to make something happen. They're playing it quite greedy at the moment.
Look at this mid lane. No one's just going in on No-Tail. He's got to be careful. He has got Fly hanging around now on this level 2 Venge, but the CS difference is massive, and they've really secured this mid lane for no one, the side of Vega.
It's like I mentioned, like putting the CK mid over the Sven just gives you the high kill potential, whereas Sven, he can chase a little bit, but you want to actually keep the enemy mid away from his tower, so Reality Rift in that sense is just a better skill to make sure that you can go for the extra damage as well, because you do get bonus damage on casting Reality Rift. You control those runes, and then you just keep throwing out spells, and the Alchemist can't stay in lane. He needs 6 very badly. He just hit 5 right now, so he will be there eventually, but for the time being, Vega definitely getting the better laning phase.
Absolutely, and well, they're going to try and go for Moon here with the Storm Hammer leading. They're looking for the body blocks in. Pash is going to find it, just allowing Dazzle to do the right-click damage. Moon can't get around. He's actually going to have to turn away and look to get elsewhere around the trees. There's going to be a second Storm Hammer flying through as well here. I don't know if Moon can get himself out of this one.
Oh, maybe he's fast. Nice.
Ah, they've got the stun. That's going to be a kill. Solo even turns up for a bit of a share of that action.
Doom's actually so big
board
that he couldn't get through. And the Sven was just standing on like the top side towards the river. That's actually pretty funny that he couldn't walk through there. But again, Vega.
This is a fantastic start for the side, and I think, as you said, they just nailed it with the lanes this game. It's much better for them compared to what they tried to do last game. They're just pulling out exactly what needs to be done. The only kind of, one of the things they've got to be aware of is the fact that Miracle is farming top, but,
yeah,
well, we may start to see some kind of action across the map once Solo hits level 6, and I'm sure the Tiny may be a priority if they're able to catch him up before him picking up those huge items.
Monkey Business do have some stacks to fall back on.
Yeah.
They have been stacking multiple camps, actually 3. So No-Tail is going to be able to use that to, what I can only assume is make his way towards that Aghanims for Miracle. I think they're going to kind of have to go all in on him, because when you're behind as Alk, I think you just want to give your carry like the best possible potential in these team fights to just go completely ham. You already know that you have the Alpha Wolf at your disposal. You know you're going to have some Vengeance Aura soon coming out from Fly on top of that. I think it's Miracle carry or bust at this point.
And we'll see if that is the game plan indeed for the side of Monkey Business. Pasha with his treads, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to opt for on this Sven. Are we going to see the kind of treads drums come out, or do you think we might see an early blink on the map?
I think with Wisp you don't necessarily need blink because you're so fast anyway. Like, you just go in, you pop Warcry, you got Tether on top of that.
Positioning from Moon here will dispel the smoke from the high ground, but no one's going to continue in. The Scorched Turf will be casted. Do they have the damage to break down Moon? It looks like they can with the heal bomb and the wall drops as well.
They
want the Doom dead and they'll get it. Oh, this is going to be huge if they can steal this. And with the Iron Shells being spammed out, they might just be able to. Avalanche is nice, though, and they will burst down Dazzle. So Monkey Business maintaining control of the jungle for the time being. I don't know if they'll go back in there. They do have no one. Are they going to go? It looks like Monkey Business will be fine in terms of securing the majority of this stack, at least.
Their Alk is so low.
Now they're turning in.
Oh, he's got bottle now.
Oh, no one. Stun and the Rift onto Fly. One quick swoop. There's the back of the Vengeful Spirit. Notel's trying to move in here. Does get the ult off. Now with this toss onto the IO, they'll find one kill. Now the Doom's being dropped here from Moon. They're chasing down no one. They've got a stun building up as well from Notel. They should be able to find this, and maybe Vega outstaying their welcome here in the dire jungle. Shallow Grave will give some kind of help to no one, but it's not enough. They lose the CK, and now Monkey Business, they're just turning up. And there we go, Mango time. Seema's going to get taken down as well.
That was actually enormous. Like, they lose, what, 4 heroes there, I think? They still get the stack? I don't know, man. That was very, very over-aggressive from Vega.
I mean,
they saw the stack and they just think to themselves, oh my god, we have to take this, you know, because they have Tiny, they have Alchemist, they're going to try to pull Miracle items, and we need to try to stop it in some way. But they just were too close to the Tiny. Like, maybe didn't notice that Miracle had rotated over from top already.
Mid lane, nice, bringing him in here. And the Spirits straight into the face of Moon. So they do get the pick-off onto Doom there. And that's the pick-off potential of Vega's lineup is fantastic, but just the farming capabilities of Monkey and also the late-game potential is pretty terrifying. And Notel now sitting on the 2.8k gold here on the Alchemist. So it looks like he is, of course, just trying to get that Radiance up and running. It would be nice for Vega if they can kill him. They have just found him. He has got the ult. He will get it off. Is the regen going to be enough to keep him alive? It doesn't look like it. No, Pasha with the God Strength takes him down. And these are the kills. At this point, if they can prioritize catching out that Alchemist, it's really going to hold Monkey Business back.
What is the game plan now? Like, if you're Vega right now, I think that you actually have a pretty easy time controlling the map so long as you're ahead. So I guess they just want to go for tier 1s, like obviously smoking in, looking to see if there's any more stacks, just double checking, and then getting that nice little pick off on Alchemist is going to be great for them. They should be able to get this tier 1 no issue. They don't have Phantasm yet on no one, but he is closing in on level 9. Once he has that, their teamfight potential is going to be boosted pretty heavily. And then, of course, relocates can help you a lot, but Solo's not 6 yet. So we're still waiting on that relocate to come out.
Look at this, no one's still sticking around. He'd love to find Notel again. Pasha trying to move forward here with the Warcry bonus speed. See if he can close in onto the Alchemist. He's not going to go up to the high ground though. A little bit aware that Moon's hanging about. Does have the ultimate online once again. And yeah, Fly just TP's out here. Doesn't want to be caught out. Did get a nice aggressive ward down here in the Radiant jungle. But Vega at the moment, they'll just send no one back to the mid lane. Solo has nearly got relocate online, halfway through level 5. That bounty rune is going to put him nice and close to getting the level 6. Top lane, Seema, he's in trouble. Miracle and Crit call him out. Killing spree here, no one moving forward. Popping the drums, gets the rift onto Miracle now with the stun as well. Crit's going to have to get the light strike, and he will. He'll TP straight out here, but now with the IO turning up, they'll bring Miracle back in again, and they'll get the kill on Tiny. We talked about the fact that Miracle's having a pretty good game so far. 3 kills, 2 assists. Pretty much free farm on the top lane, and now that's the kill they need. At the same time, bottom lane, the Doom's been dropped onto Pasha. They'll find that, but there's your relocate.
Oh,
just in time, trapped in the trees. Double kill for no one. They might even find more with this boosted speed. Chasing down Fly, drums are pop, straight into the... It's going to be another one. 3 pickoffs there in quick succession for the side of Vega. And some very nice play all over the map from no one and Solo there on the IO CK combo.
In the meantime, we can see Notel taking some stacks here. Still dealing some economical damage to the side of Vega, even though his teammates have gotten picked off.
And this is just well on Notel. He was saving up the money potentially for the Radiance. Now he started to build the Aghanims. Do you think it was still the initial idea to get the Radiance, and then he said, well, I'm dying,
It might have been, because he was holding on to, I think, 2,700 gold at one point, right? And then he got picked off in the woods by the smoke. So it is possible that he wanted to play it a tiny bit more greedy, wait it out. Because if you look at Fly, he hasn't started skilling Aura yet. So maybe they're just not looking to hit so early of a timing. They just want to wait it out a little bit longer. He's opted to max out the Wave of Terror. And I mean, their Lena's closing in on level 6 too, which is going to be great for them. But for now, Vega's mobility is the thing that they always have to be worried about. Like, they have very good kill potential on, well, any hero, honestly. Like, a relocate in, you're just going to be going for the kill, you're going to throw out the stun. And if there's not a hero there to back you up, I think you just die. I think that's also part of the reason why they wanted to pick the Venge in this game. Obviously, a lot of the other supports were taken or banned out by that point, but this is a kind of support where you have a lot of single target stuns. Like, you have Stormhammer, you have Chaos Bolt. If you swap that hero, it's almost always a save, which is nice.
Gonna be able to keep him alive.
And then, of course, you have the synergy with the Tiny on top of that, so it's very, very good. But still a close game. I think that Vega are feeling pretty comfortable now that their relocate has come in, and they were pretty successful with the first one.
Yes. I mean, it is going to be this timing that, obviously, with the Alchemist building the Ags, the Tiny is going to have an insane Blink Ags timing. It's going to be, I mean, he's got the money for the Blink himself. It's just relying on Alk to finish off that Aghanim. So you're talking at the latest a 13-minute Blink Ags on Tiny, which is pretty damn scary at this point of the game.
It ain't bad. I think that's what they're... I don't want to call it a fallback mechanism. Like, obviously they had it in mind because we've seen him do it before in the past. And I think this is probably an even better lineup to have that hero because the Venge adds so much, like 36% base damage. A level 16 Tiny hits for, on average, he hits for like 300 damage at 16.
Yes.
Okay, so
all base damage.
Yeah, 36% of that's like an extra 100 damage.
It pretty much is.
I mean, that's completely insane late game. It's good at dealing with the Phantasm.
And then, of course, the pack leaders are, as you're saying earlier.
Yeah. So pack leader is 30, Vlad's is 15, and then level 4 Vengeance Aura is 36.
All those percentages. I mean, it adds up.
It's painful. And the other thing, too, is Craggy always has to be kept in mind here because it works against the Phantasm Illusions, which is great. You have the built-in cleave. You go for, like, Butterfly, maybe, in the ultra late game because neither of those heroes on Vega want to go for, MKB. It's just not at all. It's not a great pickup for them, so Butterfly could be an option for Miracle here. Or he could just go for the standard Assault Cuirass and Moon Shards, as we so often see nowadays. But looks like Solo is still having some connectivity issues here inside the game.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the fact that if we do go late, there's always the potential with the out. That you look at the lineup, and that's a lot of Ags. They could do quite a bit. I mean, Doom would love an Aghanims.
They're all good Aghanims upgrades.
Lena would love an Aghanims. I mean, even Venge. It's not something like it's the extra distance.
It's a 10-second cooldown, I think.
Yes, it's it's the Scepter cooldown. So you're saving someone every time. I mean, 10-second cooldown on the swap. I mean, the cooldown is, of course, shorter on the reality rift, but nonetheless, 1 out of every 2 rifts, you'll be able to bring them back out and away.
I think it's going to be a race of if Vega can control the map enough versus if Monkey Business can just stack Miracle as hard as humanly possible and just be like, please hit everything with the tree.
12 minutes in, I'm pretty sure that we won't see Vega hold back any of the aggression that they've already been trying to show across the map. Things are coming out. Miracle just finding himself a regen here. They are trying to move up there. They want to try and catch someone out here. No one. And Solo. No tail. He's just sitting about less than 500 away from that completed Aghanims hit. So it's going to be coming out very, very shortly. Seema in the mid lane to find the XP for level 6, and all this bottom lane, Pasha has come out fairly far. There'll almost certainly be a relocate answer to this if the fight does kick on, and Moon doesn't even bother initially, he just gets himself out. He knows that the relocate will bring him in.
Well, the other thing too is Vega actually had a ward on the high ground there. Yeah. And they saw, like, I think maybe all 4 heroes in the area. They definitely saw 3. I don't know if they ended up seeing No Tail, but a little bit too risky for their taste.
There we go, No Tail now with this midway. That should be the Aghanims there with this, pretty much. Or at least very, very close to being so. Yeah, this is going to be it. Oh, it's so close. He's so close.
He missed the CS, man.
He did. Come on, No Tail.
Oh, relocate bottom?
Yeah, this is a dead Doom, I think, by the looks of it.
Oh my god, yeah.
He's ripping pieces.
That damage.
He's gone. I mean, Monkey Business, they're going to try and look for something off the back of it. They are smoked up. They want to try and find a return bit of action. But straight away,
I love how they left, actually.
Yeah.
That was so good. Like, the movement coming out right now from Vega is nice. It's like, why would we actually stay around when we know we're going to be isolating our Sven? Like, he obviously can't come back with the relocate, so we'll just send him top, get a tower for free. We don't put anything really at risk.
Yeah, I mean, and there we go. So that's your Ags Tiny. With the blink as well.
He's so adorable. He has to swing it with 2 hands, man. He's not big enough.
There we go. Sometimes it's better to use 2. Yeah. 11 for 7 at the moment, 14 minutes in. In the jungle, crit. He's going to see Pasha. Pasha's going to be aware that crit's hanging around as well. Monkey Business putting a lot of pressure on this bottom. They'd love to find this tier 1. That's your armlet now done onto the CK with the drums of the tread, so no one's going to be packing quite a punch. He has hit level 10, so he's got the first point in the Phantasm. When he hits level 11, it's going to be very, very scary for anyone who runs into this CK IO combination.
Yeah, no one's already so tanky, actually. You turn the armlet on, you got like, what, 1900 health or something? 1800 maybe? And the Phantasm, if you get lucky, when you pop it, you can get...
what, 3 at level 2?
At level 2, yeah, you can get 3. And then at level 16, you can get 4.
It's pretty scary. I mean...
They have the damage to kill. Like,
They do.
That's the thing. And the other part of it is they have a different kind of playstyle. Monkey Business are going for maybe a little bit more late game oriented lineup. I mean, sure, they have a lot of chain stun, but Vega's mobility and map control is what's going to allow them to transition this game.
Now back towards the mid. No on the solo mag. Moving forward across the jungle, but Monkey Business still keeping themselves preoccupied. Bottom, the blink is going to avoid the stun, and the relocate isn't going to catch anyone initially. The pings are coming through here. Do Monkey Business want to try and fight this? Solo's going to look for the TP. He's not going to find it. Avalanche straight to the face here, and he's going to get taken down. They'll find themselves 1 kill now. No-Tail moving forward with the stun. There's a Doom onto Pasha. Now CK's trying to pull someone in. No one. He's looking for the kill onto Moon, but the light strike's been put. The wall has gone down. Moon's trying to walk this off here with the Scorched Earth. The buyback from Solo, trying to help this fight continue. Monkey Business at the moment just continue to retreat as the weave does begin to stack up. And oh, Miracle just jumps straight back in. We'll get the kill on Dazzle, but the Storm hammers to the face from 9 Pasha. And now no one. Bringing Miracle in here. The Iron Shells on as well. There's your Phantasm. He's going to get 2 out as well. Moving on to Fly here with the Illusions. Trying to force No-Tail back. The crits come through. That's going to be No-Tail down. Miracle, will he go down as well? He does kill Aya, but he loses his life. Now with the Storm Hammer onto Fly, they'll probably find him as well. They'll bring back in Moon Meander there with the Rift. And now Fly, he's going to go down as well as Vega just clean up. They lose the Io twice with the dieback. They lose the Dazzle once, but they keep their cores alive and they kill all the cores plus the Venge of Monkey Business.
That was a great fight. Very fortunate that the Phantasm came up mid-engagement there. No one didn't get the max amount of illusions, but you can see the damage output is definitely there. As soon as they get on a target, they just explode. Especially with Pasha having Blink Dagger, they were able to reposition nicely in the fight. Even having lost the Dazzle instantly before he was able to really do much, I think he got a weave off. And that was about it.
He got a weave off at the start,
and then he ended up dying. Even that, it doesn't matter. Like, the Tiny still needs more items. Like, he needs armor. He's probably going to need a Butterfly on top of that. So I think he needs to build as tanky as possible to try to stop these team fights from going too heavily in favor of Vega. Because if you can't tank the Phantasm as Tiny, then
you just go.
I mean, Vega are always going to fight around that utility, right? They're either going to relocate on you when they know that you're alone, or they're going to fight around Phantasm.
Yeah, Vega want to go again. They've saw out where the fight's going. They're going to smoke up. Now searching for Chaos Knight's going to move straight into all 5 of them, though. And here goes the fight. No-Tail starting to build up the concoction from the backlines. Miracle with the toss will take down the Dazzle. The wall is big, though. And Monkey Business just getting shreked by the side of Vega, sorry. There's a buyback here from Moon on the Doom. But no one. He's looking for Miracle, but he's not going to find the kill. Doom there, returning to the fight, will be able to find one. They'll actually be able to get Mag as well here on the Darkseer. So it is a big cleanup there from Miracle. It initially looked a bit rocky for the side of Monkey Business, but that wasn't a bad thing because Tiny, he cleaned up at the end of the day.
He blinked in and I think he hit 4 people.
It was a big avalanche.
I mean, look at the damage
backside
that he did during the fight, right? Like, he did 3,800 damage. The next highest on his team did 1,100, okay? That just goes to show when he blinked in, he hit 4 with Avatos and then got 2 kills before they were unstunned.
Yeah,
it was. You start the fight 3v5, doesn't matter how good your vac wall is. They also didn't have Phantasm.
Yeah,
which is why I thought that Vega might wait it out. Of course, 5-man smoking up there. There is always the opportunity that the ward didn't see everyone because it's placed around the Roshan pit, so it doesn't have like full high ground vision to the side shop or a secret shop.
Can they do anything here? They're going to relocate them in. They want to fight this Roshan. Here comes the Phantasm. He's going to get all 3 out, but Roshan's already down. The Aegis has been picked up by Tiny here, and Miracle's going to be the first to go. The Aegis is now down. The Illusions are still up for no one, but the Light Strike bringing them low. The double kill here for 9 Bashu. Fly, he's stuck in the pit, and now with the Rift, bring in Miracle, and Miracle's got to try and get himself out. The Vacuum's going to miss, but the Chaos Bolt is not, and the Storm happens to the face of the Tiny as well. They'll get Miracle. It's a triple kill for Pasha as Vega clean up. Monkey Business did find Roshan and the Aegis, but the power of these guys, the man-fighting capabilities in such a confined space is is absolutely ridiculous.
It just goes to show the difference between A, having your ultimates available if you're Vega, and B, how the fight starts off. Because that time, no one was able to get his Phantasm off before Doom came out, and honestly, Moon didn't even get the spell off. He just died, like, immediately, I think, to it was Pasha. So they use Weave to scout the pit, they go in, they get a nice stun from the Sven. No one comes in from the side. He gets a Phantasm and just immediately kills Miracle. They get the Aegis popped, and after that, you've already lost the fight because your Alk can't do anything. So if your Alk doesn't have any farm and your Tiny's not carrying the fight for you.
They've got to try and do something on the defense here, and here we go. They're setting it up with the stun onto Noah. The vacuum wall is beautiful, catches them all. The Storm has been dropped out onto Doom. Doom did get the ult out onto Noah on the CK Miracle. Looking for the Avalanche, she's going to toss forward. Moon meander here, but the Beck has been popped by Mac, and now they just try and turn. Moon's incredibly low, they're going to lose the Doom here. He's going to be the first casualty of this fight. Miracle's going to get himself out, but Pasha with the Storm over. The God Strength as well. Miracle just melts. No one now moving forward for more. Mac's going to chase down Flyer on the sidelines of the supports, and the Darkseer deal with him. Up to the high ground goes Solo and CK. They'll get the stun. No Tail's going to get taken down here. Fly will be the last to fall. A team wipe again as Vega just absolutely destroy Monkey Business in these engagements. I mean, you could tell Monkey Business, they chased Vega out of the base. They wanted to fight, but it did not work out at all.
That was an extremely well-placed Vac Wall coming in for Mag. Imagine if Pasha had stunned on top of that. Because he had his Stormhammer up, but I think he actually used Blink to run away, so it was probably still on cooldown by the time he came back in. If that landed, the fight would have been over in seconds.
Yeah.
So that's also something that Monkey Business have to fight around all the time. I just feel like their fights are so hard to win just based on the fact that if they don't blow heroes up at the start, they just can't take the engagement after that because the sustained damage output, a Phantasm, God Strength, you have Weave on top of that, you have a save with the Shallow Grave on top of it. Like, the Tiny needs to be able to almost 1v5 in these scenarios because you're casting Doom on a CK or the Sven. If these heroes have used their ultimates and you Doom them after the fact, it does nothing. Like, it actually does nothing. You don't Doom for damage, you Doom for the disable.
Yeah.
And just getting somebody out of the fight.
And these guys they just don't care. They just continue to hit.
Like last time, no
I've
one
been
got
doomed,
doomed,
so
and
what?
he's like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to keep hitting you.
I've got a Darkseer with a mech. I mean,
this is a really good way to deal with Doom because a lot of people think of it as a hero that if you get doomed, you just kind of lose the fight and you can't do anything. But if you have heroes that, like Mass Serpent Wards is a good example, you drop it, and then the spell is already out. So even if you get doomed after that, it's like my damage is done, pretty much. So same thing with Phantasm, same thing with God Strength, because it doesn't purge the buff. It's just on. So even if you're doomed, you're still dealing damage, you know, you're still a threat, which I think Vega just knew that going in, and they drafted a very nice dual core lineup around it. They also did well in mid, they did well bottom, and after that, like even though the Aghanim's timing on Miracle was still like, what, 13 minutes, I think it was?
oh god.
Maybe 14?
I've only just looked at the net worth, Andy.
Oh, it's not great.
Oh my goodness.
It is not great.
Wow.
And the only reason that Tiny's up there is because he got pulled in Aghanims. So obviously he'd still be,
I don't think I've quite seen something like that.
if you take away 4,200, he'd be around the Darkseer's net worth right now.
That's not good for the Dire.
No, it's bad.
No.
Real bad. But again, I really love the way that Vega drafted and played this. I was a bit skeptical at the start because, you know, you give away Tiny Doom and I'm like, that's a pretty strong opening, right? Pretty strong. We've seen them play Alchemist with this hero in the past and it had some pretty good effects, I would say, during the game. But Vega, they seem to have a very good answer for it.
I mean, we were saying earlier at the beginning of the game, if Vega find that point in this match where they've hit their peak and Monkey Business is still struggling to find anything, it's going to be just impossible for Monkey to deal with this.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, if Monkey Business can come back from this position, it's going to be quite something. Because Vega are just in such a position of power here. It's... Look at the graph. Have we seen it? It's a perfect line.
Yeah.
Just up. And it's not stopping.
It's not stopping.
I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw a graph that was pretty much X equals Y here. That's... Alright. I don't know. This is... Wow. Vega doing a lot better in Game 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Doing a lot better in Game 2.
I think they didn't have the same draft mentality as they did in the first game. I felt Hani kind of put it nicely. They drafted themselves kind of into a rough spot, and they had to outplay their opponent so badly to be able to win that game. And maybe, you know, maybe Vega are the kind of team who are okay with that. Maybe they say, you know what, we're confident, you know, we can play really well and just we can crush it. No big deal. And if they snowballed that top lane, who knows? Maybe they could have won that game. But here, I feel like their draft makes a lot more sense. And there's just no reason to put yourself in a position where you have to win based on like lucky engagements, you know? So I think that this is a much more Vega style that I would prefer seeing in the future. And they have played it very, very well on top of that, so.
Oh yeah, I mean it's you know, having a Sven and CK lineup, you don't get more manly than that.
Well,
that
you had
is
to
all
out-manly a Tiny, a Doom,
Yeah.
and an Alchemist. Like, those are 3 really beefy
It's
heroes.
true. It's true. And they're doing it. They're doing it with quite some style here. I hope they'll be able to continue in a minute because I want to see some more action. And,
Yeah, I do too.
Vega are giving us the action. Monkey Business are, unfortunately for them at least, on the receiving end of it each and every time.
Yep. I think one other thing to keep in mind for this particular game and draft is the first bans were not really super common, right? So Doom was left in the pool, Brood was left in the pool, Wisp was left in the pool. That doesn't happen very often. Like, all those heroes are not usually there.
Nope.
So as soon as they first
Nope.
pick Wisp, Monkey Business are like, we get Doom and another hero?
Yep.
They were happy with that, you know? They're thinking, all right, we're off to a pretty solid start. And any captain would think that because Doom is obviously very strong.
Yep.
So maybe they just put themselves into a spot where Vega go for the support picks immediately. They started Wisp, Dazzle,
Yep.
right? And they're thinking, okay, well, obviously good heroes, but we don't know what their lanes are going to be yet.
Nope.
And then they pick Alchemist.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, well, now we got our lanes pretty much decided.
Yep.
Okay, so that's really
It's,
important
yeah.
here because when you pick those 3 heroes, you're basically saying, we got our safe laner, we got our mid, we got our off lane. Vega already know what your lanes are going to be at that point, and you're only like 3 or 4 picks in. And when the other team can decide that and just say, all right, well, we can win this in a 2v1 if we put the Wisp in the CK mid. We can win this lane in a 2v1 if we put the Sven and the Dazzle bottom. We've already just decided that our laning phase is going to go well for us. And where is the rotation coming in? Like, sure, maybe the Venge and the Lina didn't do a lot during the early game. You know, they didn't rotate a lot. They didn't go for kills. They were kind of just sitting around top. I think Crit was actually level 1 for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we saw obviously that Venge came to the mid lane. Fly
Yeah.
tried to help out the help out No-Tail, but at that point it was the lane wasn't pretty.
He's not good in a dual lane unless you're like maxing spray and stun. And obviously at that point I think he was like level 4 or 5, so he's not going to have a huge amount of kill potential even with a Venge helping. And Venge isn't even really a good lane support in the first place. Like, she has crappy range. Her stun range isn't even that big.
We don't see the hero a lot.
We do not see
We
the
do
hero a
not
lot.
see the hero a lot.
I can see why it
We
was
used
picked
to.
here.
We used to. Was it? I can't remember. It was about 6.83 or something. Venge was pretty high tier.
It
There was a
might
period
have
where
been
Venge was
maybe a bit
pretty
before
up
that.
there. Was that back in the day of kind of the snowballing and just having your? There was a point at least.
There was a point. at
Venge
which
has
she was
fallen
picked
off
a lot.
massively over the last course of what,
It's
maybe
been a
6
while.
months to a year. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I think back then there was also a lot less focus on just like non-stop aggression, you know, because Venge is that hero where, okay, it's good for a clutch save. Maybe you can swap in a high priority
Yes.
target and kill
Which
it.
I think
you
is,
know?
I imagine
Yeah.
this game they picked it, as you said, because of the aura with the Tiny and because of the ability to save people from that
Yeah.
kind of CK and the stun initiations of Vega.
That part's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if you're trying to save, you're basically a martyr for your team. You're like trying to kill yourself because you're saying, okay, I'm going to swap my core and I'm going to let them live, but I die. Dazzle pretty much does the same thing, except he offers more teamfight potential. He's better in lane.
Yeah. Dazzle,
And I also think he has a better late game.
I mean, there's a reason why I imagine Dazzle's kind of got to be in like the top 5 most picked this patch.
Easily,
And Venge has got to
easily.
be probably in towards the lower, at least lane supports. Yeah, it's
For sure.
not worked out for Monkey Business so far. You know, that's for sure.
Eventually was because her turret could pull boosts, and it would stack this and had like a billion more range in it.
That's true.
Does it not stack anymore?
It still does.
Yeah,
It
okay.
changes from stacking to non-stacking back to stacking.
Okay.
Use the range.
Okay. Yeah, I know. So
They can hear him
basically,
still quietly.
Lumi is
but Lumi's
saying-
like an ethereal voice in our heads.
Lumi is saying that they nerfed Wave of Terror basically to an extent where it's a lot harder to stack with it nowadays than it used to be. So that's one of the reasons why they're not picked. And I would say that the last couple of patches have been pretty heavily stack based. You know, you stack creep camps, you try to get your mid player like Shadow Fiend, who has been relevant, I would say, for multiple patches.
I mean, especially, with the Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's all about this, which they did get going. They got a good amount of stacks, but
They did.
they got the early ags for the Tiny. He is, of course, at the top of the net worth, but it was always going to be about how much he could achieve. And he's not had a bad game, Miracle, by no means. You know, he's had 9 kills, but each of these fights, we're just seeing straight away, getting caught out by one of the stuns, and I mean, they can swap him out, but then your Venger's going to die, and then Vega are just going to move on and go, oh, that's where you put him, and they'll kill him at the end.
I think Vega, when they have all of their ultimates up, it's too hard to fight it. Like, you have to open a fight where you maybe kill... Like, who do you actually kill? Like, killing the Wisp would be good. Killing the Darkseer would be good. Killing the Dazzle would be good. I don't think you can go for either core at this point. Because if they get relocated or graved, you actually just lose the fight straight away because you've blown everything on one hero, and then they have Vac Wall to fall back on. They can, like I said, they can relocate the hero out. You got God Strength, you got Phantasm. Like, it's ugly.
C9
What is
bladder
that?
control.
Wow.
Zeus holding his bladder. Good one. Good old Johan. Good old No-Tail.
I'm a fan.
Have we got anything else good? Stay humble and reduce ego. Mamo Meander. I'll go in. It looks like his effigy's a little bit strange. He's wearing his helmet on his chest for some reason.
That's a DK, right?
That I think it was before the accident, yeah.
Before the accident.
He's not looking in too great shape here at the moment. Bits and bobs hanging off him elsewhere.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, Monkey Business, they're going to have to get like a really clutch smoke.
I mean, they could still do it.
Yeah, but it's going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard.
It's, yeah.
Like what, their Lina still has level 1 Laguna.
I mean, that's something.
It is.
It's not a lot.
It's something, but it's not.
It's
like,
not the thing.
It's not great. I mean, that Sven has BKB finish on the courier. He just needs to send it out. No one working his way towards Manta. Almost has it completed. Has well over 2,000 health with the armlet toggled on. Like, a level 1 Laguna is just not really that effective at this point. That's why I think they just have to kill a support somehow. Like, they have to kill the Wisp, they have to kill the Dazzle, and then maybe hope that you can, like, kite out the duration of Phantasm and God Strength. Like, just run around, use your Yules, like, keep stunning them, you know, run, kite them out. But if the Wisp is alive, it's a lot harder to do that. Because it can relocate behind you. The tether speed obviously helps a lot. So you can just get the CK in point blank, get that Chaos Bolt off, and just kill the hero.
Well, the pause continues here. Who are we waiting for? It is... It's Crit by the looks of it, as well as Lina.
Yeah, he apparently DC'd off of voice comm as well, so...
Oh, God.
They don't actually have any idea where he is.
Hopefully that's alright.
Yeah.
Come on. But nonetheless, it's... Monkey Business have seen better... I mean, the game one, when you think back to that, Monkey Business's performance was... it was on point.
Yeah.
It really was. But this game, Vega... They're on. And this is what we've kind of seen from Vega, I feel, in the last few series. Who was it they were playing against the other day where they lost the first game and they did not look great? But in the second game, they go, all right.
Was it NLG?
Was it NLG? I want to say NLG. I think they lost the first game too. Yeah. And it was a bit like, whoa. But then Vega...
And then everyone was like, okay, NLG actually did really well. Yeah. I think it was NLG, actually. We'll have to double check just to make sure. But looks like Crit is back. Can have the game resumed here in just a second.
There we go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you very much for bearing with us. We do appreciate you all being patient at home and in Twitch chat. And here we go. We've got some more Dota 2 for you, just for those who waited. Here we go. Back on with Vega and Monkey Business as Vega continue to push it. And we'll take this tier 2 in the top lane. Let's see what Monkey Business have as an answer. They're all back up. So we'll see when the next bit of action does kick off. But for the time being, Vega, they're just going to farm at the Dire Jungle. And Monkey Business are going to be left in a position where they've really got to think about their next move incredibly carefully, because at this point it could potentially be their last. Guardian Greaves now in the Darkseer.
That is that's like the dream for Vega. It's like, oh, if they mess up once, we win. Especially if they're just sitting right outside of your base. But I think they can probably wait it out for now. I'm really like struggling to find a great option for Monkey Business right now, and a lot of it stems from the fact that when you're behind against Wisp, your map control becomes such an issue for you because you can just be ganked at any given point. Like, the only person who can potentially get away from it is probably Miracle, because he has Blink and Shadow Blade. So because of the fact that they've backed, Miracle's going to look for a pick here. He might be able to find the Wisp, but he cannot kill Mag, too much health. He needs to find a squishier target.
He can't reveal himself as surely. Miracle.
Okay.
Oh, Miracle.
He's going to blink.
Is he? He needs to get himself the hell out of there.
Oh! Close.
That was a...
That was manly.
That was it, yeah.
That was very manly.
Miracle going in.
But I think that's one way to deal with this kind of situation when you're really struggling for map control and to push lanes out. You want to keep Vega away from your base as long as you can without having to commit to a fight. So you just use your Tiny's mobility to just push the waves out, maybe go for some creep cutting to delay the game until you can get more items up on your other heroes. Because, I mean, look at this Alchemist. He's level 11. He's got a freaking medallion and 900 HP. You tell me what that hero is going to do during a team fight outside of throw a stun and an acid spray. Like, he does nothing.
Bottom tower has fallen.
This Tiny needed to carry ultra hard.
Oh, here we go. Vega, they're ready to go, and the Phantasms are going to be lucky.
Oh, God.
Right. What's the plan, business?
Hello?
Oh, hello.
That's not us, is it?
Well. Okay. That's, yeah. Right. Yep. Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Let's pretend that it's Dota and not us.
Okay.
What is the counterplay here from Monkey Business outside of the fact that they just try to nuke down these Phantasms and hope that they can hold their base because they do not have glyph?
Find out next time on Reborn.
It just
okay.
Is yours going? Mine's
We're back in. We're back in. Let's get ourselves back in and.
All right, what's happening?
Well, they're actually struggling a little bit here, Vega, but not that much. Not that much. They've already killed Lena here. Monkey Business can't do a lot to stop against this. Miracle gets dragged in. There's going to be a buyback hit from Miracle. There was the Doom dropped onto Mag. They'll stick to the racks. The Greaves now coming out as well. Pasha with the Stormhammer onto No-Tail. No-Tail gets bought in by no one, and the Warp Vacuum comes down. Dragged in. There's even a relocate out on top. The BM relocate from Solo just coming in on his own, throwing around his balls and forcing Monkey Business back to base, providing the space that Vega need to finish off this bottom set of racks. And they'll get it. So that's going to be the second set of racks down here against the side of Monkey Business. Miracle is Shadow Bladed up. Let's see if he can find anything here. And, well, he's going to try it, and we can... is that appearing on the screen? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're
seeing some kind of... yeah. Miracle's looking a little bit... kind of pretty much in the shape. This kind of just emphasizes how Monkey Business are feeling at this point. Just underfarmed, underfed, 32-14. Vega with the lead. Had a look for Roshan. It's not quite up yet. So,
I mean, I can't even really put this on Miracle because I feel like he actually played well, given how the game was
Miracle
going.
did play well. Yeah.
But it's so hard to fight into Vega's lineup. Like, you have to fight against Weave, Phantasm.
Oh, Miracle.
Okay.
Okay, Chaos Ball to the face here. Miracle dying quickly. Mag with a 4-5-man vacuum wall from this crazy SFB. And now they're moving forward for more. There's going to be the swap back from Fly, keeping No-Tail alive, but it's not going to be able to save Moon. Moon's going to drop here on the Doom. Miracle gets himself into the sideline, but they're relocating straight on top of the H, and he's solo on his own again, brings in no one as well with the Rift, and now it's the stun from Pasha. GG is called. The game is over. Vega just taking this game in classic CIS in-your-face fashion, and Monkey Business just don't know what hit them.
I really loved the draft of Vega this game. I saw the lanes, the way they were shaping up. I really think that giving away all three of your cores so early and just giving Vega a clear idea of what your laning phase would look like was a mistake. Because they didn't do anything with the laning phase outside of just, okay, No-Tail's gonna farm an Ags for the Tiny. They defended their stacks, they got some kills on Vega, that was great, but how do you fight it? It really seems like every time we get to like 20 minutes in the game today, the team feels like it's so hard for them to lose. Like the first game, obviously it was Monkey Business because they had Jakiro pushing power, they had Primal Split. It was really hard for Vega to 5-man them. In this game, it was the same. It's like they did all right in the lanes, Monkey Business. Like maybe they lost, I guess, one really hard, which was bottom because the Doom died a few times.
Yes, they did a couple of... Yeah.
But as soon as it gets to mid-game, Monkey Business don't have an answer for Vega. Like they actually cannot fight them.
It was an impressive draft from Vega, and it was more impressive to see them just pull it off. They knew the fights that they could take. Monkey Business were just left off guard, and it wasn't their game. So the series does end 1-1 between the two teams. I think that's kind of what we were predicting. We felt that both teams had the potential to take a game from each other. But that is it, of course, for the first series. The Series R 2-game series here in the Dream.